Step 1, wake up early, gonna rise with the sun. Step 2, get some good, some food in you. Step 3, think real hard about what you wanna be. Step 4, everybody just do your thing.
Wake up, today's gonna be a good day. 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 Yo, set your affirmations, aspirations. I got shit to do, the aftermath of preparation. Good food, good mood, blood in circulation. One step at a time, yeah, that's how you make it. Set a goal you control and the steps you take them. I try to pick one thought, have some concentration. And if I make a mistake, it's called education. I try to do this every day, call it replication. Wake up, today's gonna be a good day. 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 So life ain't easy, yo, I think there's a reason though. Ups and downs, just like every different season, yo. Sometimes I'm high, other times I'm barely breathing, though. I always gotta fight and hide from the demons, yo. Negative thoughts are poison, they rot. Head full of flies, so here come the clouds. They'll never stop unless I can swap all the bad for the good in my head when I'm lost. Yeah, so I'ma fake it till I make it. Positive thoughts are overtaken, I got patience. One day at a time is how you operate a cadence. A flow, you grow, you show yourself a foundation. Stay away from all the shit that causes temptation. I know that I like to do it cause it's sensation. I live my life in my head like a narration. Don't expect greatness, do my best, man, I'll take it. Wake up, today's gonna be a good day. 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 Wake up, today's gonna be a good day.
Wake up early, gonna rise with the sun. Step 2, get some good, some food in you. Step 3, think real hard about what you wanna be. Step 4, everybody just do your thing.
As you wake up in the morning, you want to find the latest, greatest information about criminal cases and have an intuitive conversation about the suspects associated with these cases. Head over to the Bullhorn Betty channel on YouTube. Breaking news right here on the Bullhorn Betty channel. Welcome to the Bullhorn Betty Coffee Club. Enjoy your stay and enjoy your day.
Well, hello, everyone. I bet you guys missed me yesterday. I was trying to do all this work behind the scenes and trying to plan a live. I just couldn't do it yesterday. So I literally worked from, I want to say 5 a.m. until, I want to say 8 or 9 o'clock last night. because I really wanted to really understand what was going on in Jolissa Fuentes case. And we're going to go over that. We're going to talk about that. We're going to provide some updates on Kiely. We're going to provide some updates. I got a few updates on here. And we've got like a weird, horrible case in St. Petersburg that I wanted to write in my own backyard that I wanted to kind of just let you guys know about because it's the ugly of the ugly out there. So anyways, good morning, everyone. Good morning. I am wide awake because I've been up since about 2 or 3 o'clock this morning and really worked hard for a great presentation this morning. I hope you guys get a lot of good information out of it. And it was definitely beneficial to you. But I guess we'll find out once we're over, right? So good morning. We kind of got away from the language of letting go. And even though this one, it's because this month they're really long-winded messages. And in the morning, it's kind of hard. You start fumbling on words, the longer it is. So, but today I really liked the messaging so much so that I'm going to read the long-winded devotional for today, the meditation devotional for today. This is for August 24th. It says, celebrate who you are. Today, celebrate who you are. Yes, you have much in common with other people, but you're also uniquely you. Grab a piece of paper and something and write with. Now write down 1, a lesson that you've learned in life. 2, a talent that you have, no matter how quirky. Your favorite meal. The name of a friend who respects and likes you for who you are. And 5, finally, an activity that you enjoy. Now pick up the phone and call your friend. Invite him or her to celebrate with you. Do the activity that you enjoy. Go for a walk. Go for a ball game. Sit at home and watch videos. Whatever you like to do. Then prepare your favorite meal or go to a restaurant and have them prepare it. Show your friend your talent. Remember, this person likes and respects you for who you are. So you can, so if you can balance a ping pong ball on the tip of your nose, go ahead and do that. Show him or her how good you are. Talk to your friend about the lessons you have learned and invite him or her to share a lesson learned from you. Instead of fussing and worrying about how different you are, be grateful that you're unique. Celebrate being you. So, and it also says, God, thanks for me too. So I thought that was really cute, really sweet. I think some of us forget how wonderfully unique we are. And we forget that and take it for granted. And then we start beating up on ourselves, calling ourselves stupid for making a stupid mistake and doing this and do that. Sometimes we're the hardest people on our own selves. Like, we don't need enemies. Like, we're our own enemies and our own best friends, right? We're the ones that make or break ourselves. We're the ones that get that job or don't get that job. It's just one of those things. So anyways, good morning, Mary Jane. The first to welcome and say good morning to Bullhorn Betty and chat, followed by our lovely Anissa. Good morning, Anissa. Followed by Karen G. Good morning. Followed by Bullhorn Betty. No. Guidance. Good morning. Rebecca. Good morning. Julia T. Hope and Truth. I love that name. Heather Mack. Good morning. Sunny, Ohio. I don't know what the day looks like today. I've got blinds in here, so it's not too bright and it doesn't blind me during these things, but I haven't even been outside of the house this morning. I've been literally working since it was dark. Trust me, this is not this job I have sucks. I need a new boss. Barbie, Gigi for life, Crazy Nurse, nice to see you. Stacy B, Crystal. What else do we have here? Robert's girl, nice to see you. I said Nancy B, Tammy, Tracy, Crystal. I said that Eastern Tennessee girl. Good morning. Happy's in the house. Connie Branch, nice to see you. I hope you're doing well. Miss Adamson from Kentucky, good morning. Angel, nice to see you. Miss Robin, hello, my friend. Louise, What else do we have in here? Got a lot of chats going on. I'm glad you guys enjoy being in here and chatting with each other. No Fear, Irene, Trudy, I see you in here. Wild Still Horses, ZZT Web, nice to see you. Mysteries, nice to see you. Oh, thank you for the super sticker. That's so sweet. That's so sweet. Mysteries, good morning. Bonnie's Journey, Brittany, I am Team Summer, and Techni Girl. Nice to see you all here this morning. So I'm not going to waste a whole bunch of time this morning going over this information. I think what I'm trying to figure out, even though I've got a whole wealth of information that I'd like to, show you guys, some you may see on other sites, some you may not. Some you may not because I created them this morning. So you'll only see them here, but that's just my slideshow. Today's Kevin's funeral. Oh, I'm so sorry, Connie. How are you holding up? For those that don't know, Connie Branch, she's been coming to this channel for a little minute. It was several days ago, Connie's son passed away unexpectedly. So she's just, as we can only imagine a mom to be, just horrible. And apparently his funeral's today. So if you guys could just kindly keep Connie Branch in your thoughts and prayers today, and have uplifting words of encouragement. We talk about these things on here. Some of them are bad, but we talk about these things on here, and we don't even realize that some people in our chat are affected by this very type of thing. Obviously there was I don't know the ins and outs, and I don't really want to talk about it. I know it's hard, and she's probably here to take her mind off of it, but we still love you, Connie. So just a big shout out, big virtual hug from us to you. And we're here. So whenever you feel weak today, just remember you have a whole bunch of people right here, 110 of them right here, praying for you to hold you up today. So lean on us if you can't lean on anybody else. Wow. Yeah. So again, guys, thanks for all being here this morning. So I'm just, I've got everything pulled up here. I still have been kind of bouncing back and forth between the flow of what I wanted. Hey, Stony Stone, hope everything's going well with you. Magic Moonlight, I seen you came in as well. Yeah, thank you guys. You guys we have a good group over here, guys. I really do appreciate and love you. And, you guys are support for people in here. You guys are support for me. This stuff's not easy. It's a lot of work. And, I'm glad we have each other here. So, and this is a good, just to show you that, there are people out there that truly need us to just take their mind off things, absolutely. You're part of the family. You're absolutely part of the family. So I'm thinking the best way to kind of go through all of this stuff, in my opinion, is maybe go over the facts first, and then we'll dive into, some of the other stuff that happened, just to give you guys an idea. Actually, it's all on the stuff. So I'm just going to do that. I think we'll just go over the factual information first, and then we'll dive into some other we'll dive into the video after that, and then some other information going on and throughout the web. So, and just to let you know, guys, Stony Stone is in the house. Thank you, my friend. If you want to come up, there's always the link above. You're more than welcome to come up if you have any insight. I'm trying to hone down where this girl was, and to make sure that the pings, because they said that there was some false pings in that area, for Jolissa Fuentes. And so they're going to be looking at the pings. So if that's correct, but I'm going to go over some stuff, and you guys are going to understand why I feel the way I feel about this particular case in just a few moments. So let's just go over the facts. Let's go over the facts that was collected from all the press conferences. I think is going to be the best way to handle this situation. Now, there's one other thing, and maybe you guys can help me, and I'll update the slide. I have her missing persons flyer. Now, I don't know if it's the official one or if it's one the friends and family put together, but I noticed it doesn't have her height and weight on it. So it's kind of hard for me to add the height and weight. Either way, I digress. Let's just get over here to the facts of this. So she's obviously 22 years old. Many of us know. I don't know if I didn't see her birth date specifically on the flyer. However, she went missing the early mornings of August 7th, 2022. Now, many of you guys know, she has been there's been several people in and around this Northern California area that has kind of disappeared. Two of them were found in a single car accident over in something Valley. I want to say Pine Valley, but I don't think that's right. But either way, it was a they used to date, but they're no longer dating. They were just friends, and they were heading back from the car show. We had that same weekend, we had Kiely Rodni that disappeared, which was, I believe, on the 5th, if I'm not mistaken, August 5th to the 6th. And then she disappeared on August 7th. Again, all, they're not in huge, they're hours away from each other, but these are three cases three cases that involved 4 people, and right now 3 of those 4 people have been found and are deceased. So she went missing the early hours of August 7th. She was in a silver gray Hyundai Accent with California license plate number 8MPU 766. So here's the factual information as we know it. On August 6th, between 8 p.m. to 3 a.m., or right about 3 a.m., she attended a family gathering. There was a disagreement there, and she left. The disagreement that happened at that party was the fact that, it was very early in the morning. Obviously, this party had been going on for a really long time. And Jolissa just wanted to stay up. She just wanted to be in company of friends. She wasn't ready to go to sleep yet. And the people at the house, they were already going to bed. So they were tired. They were ready for the party to be over. She ended up leaving and heading home. And she made it home around 3 a.m. Law enforcement said it was to grab belongings. But it is my understanding from several sources I have that she actually was going home to stay home. She wanted to meet up with her brother, but and when she called her brother, he wasn't planning on coming home. She was going to go to the convenience store, get a cigar, and then was supposed to be heading back home. But when she left the store, she didn't head back home. So she also FaceTime. Oh, and when she went to the store, she was captured on their CCTV cameras at 4:06 a.m. at the AMPM gas station, and she FaceTimed her sister twice around 4:24, 4:25 in the morning. Her sister missed it. I know this information is all been what has been spread across YouTube as of now. So I anticipate that this information is familiar to many of you that are following this case. She was officially reported missing at 7 p.m. and this was the last date that her phone pinged. So her phone stopped pinging on the day she disappeared. They have not provided us, they provided us the location, the supposed location of the last ping, but they have not told us what time of the day that happened. And I'm very curious as to what time of the day she lost service to her phone in conjunction with the time that she made those calls to her sister. It's just one of those things that I think that there's something there with those two calls to her sister, and I'm not sure what. So on August 8th, we know that it was confirmed, the phone ping, even though they didn't get this information on the 7th. They got request for an emergency ping, which they initiated on August 8th. By August 9th, they had some information in the area of where the last ping was and started sending out drones and helicopters to that area. Also on the 9th, several search warrants were issued for the cell phone records, social media data, baked information, and any other digital media. All those things have been silent. She's had no cell phone activity. She's had no social media activity. She has had no banking transactions, and she has had no other digital media anything since the 7th of August. They also said the last transaction on her bank card was August 5th, but we clearly see her using a card. That is still a question for many of us as to what card she's using. Salem police started releasing information on their social media platforms on August 8th, and Ellie started receiving leads, but nothing that led to her whereabouts. On August 11th, this was the last time, the last phone ping. They got the information on the last phone ping, and it was in the Avocado Lake area. This is super important, guys, because I don't want a repeat of what happened in the Kiely Rodni case. Ellie doesn't believe there are foul means associated with this case. However, this case is being conducted as a criminal investigation. So what does that mean? That means they stop communicating as much with family members. They start a whole different slew of protocols start getting rolled out in a criminal investigation. But I think one of the more important reasons that they moved it up to a criminal investigation is for the resources that provides to them once it gets to that stage. Again, Kiely Rodni, if you recall, they couldn't prove that she wasn't abducted, so they were able to flag her as potentially abducted, which opened them up to more resources. Not that they believed that she had been abducted. It was just that it opened up the resources, and they couldn't rule it out at the time. So just a little bit more information to know. And here again is her missing persons flyer. As you see on this particular flyer, the reward is $5,000. I have received information that reward has been increased to $10,000. So just a lot of information related to her, but I thought maybe starting out with some of the information, the factual information that we have for her would really be beneficial to you. Now let's just look at the map and find out what in the world is going on here. Like, what happened? Where did she go? How did she get there? Why? Right? Why is the big question. So I went ahead and let me see if I can pull this out just a little bit. No, I don't want that one. Hold on a second. Let me grab this before it goes. There we go. So I've already mapped everything out on this particular map. So I wanted to show you guys what was going on. Let me see if I can make myself smaller here. There we go. So as you see, for this one here, here's where everything really kind of started the time clock. And I wanted to show you guys this because this is super important. So it is of my understanding that we don't have an address for the address for grandma where she lives. We don't have that, but we do have an idea of what location. We knew it was the opposite way on Nebraska that she had to go. We don't know where. However, here is kind of the map. Over here, this is the direction to grandma's house. So she came down this way. So I can just get it a little bit bigger. So she left home, came down this way, and then she goes to the gas station right here. But when she leaves there, she had already talked to her brother as she was pulling up here, and her brother advised her that he was not at home and wasn't coming home. She wanted to hang out with him and smoke, okay? She did go to the store for a cigar, and this is going to be interesting because I'm going to wrap it all up for you why that cigar is important to where the location that her last pings were, why they make sense a little bit. So she actually went out the wrong way according to the family, because she should not have been going left. This is where she went left on Nebraska right here, and that shouldn't have been the case. So can I exit this out? Okay, I can't. But and then here is the, let's see if I can download this. All the way over here, this orange line, and then we're going to go over there. All the way up there was the area that they were last seen in. Let's see if I can go here. So she was far away from her home. This was the last area that they were pinging from. So it was almost an hour and 15 minutes to go from the gas station to this area. And so I don't know how many people are familiar with a TikToker by the name of Riley Lively. I met Riley Lively, never met her in person, but I met her online when I was doing Gabby Petito. And I actually talked to her several times about Shane McLaughlin. She was trying to get me to help with Shane McLaughlin. And once I found out, did my research, and I just didn't want to get involved because it sounded like Shane's mom was a little cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs, and I wasn't going to put him back into a house. So we didn't do that. And then I'm glad we didn't, because shortly after that, that lady just did a number on her. I feel bad for her. But anyways, Riley Lively has had contact with everybody in her family. So I had an opportunity to communicate with Riley Lively through TikTok to talk to her about this case and everything like that. And so what she found out from the family, and this is why this is important, because the family's saying that this is unusual for her. She never goes out here alone, da-da-da-da-da. She actually has been known to frequent this area. She has been known to go to, Flats? Hold on here. Keep saying Pine Flats, but I don't think it is Pine Flats. It's something else. Actually, let me just find out on my last ping. Pine Flats, I don't know. I think, anyways, at the Avocado area. But she has been known to frequent this area. But she usually just goes up there and back when her and her friends or, her brother want to go out and want to smoke. They'll take a ride all the way up there and all the way back while they smoke. And so she has been known to go out to this area. And why is that important? Because she went to the store for a cigar. A female does not smoke cigars. As soon as I heard that, like, I'm serious. As soon as I heard that, like when I was doing my notes yesterday, let me show you this. Like, I got pages and pages of notes on this case, like literally pages and pages and pages of notes on this particular case. And I just want to read, because I started this stuff out way early in the morning. And it says, last Sunday at AMPM convenience store, Sunday, August 7th, 4:06 a.m., where she appeared to be heading in the opposite direction of her home. She was purchasing a cigar. Look at that. I purchasing a cigar, question mark. Like, I'm like, what? And even under this, was this for a man or was this to roll marijuana? See? So before I even listened to all the stuff going on in this case, I was already asking questions as I'm learning this information. Then I find out, because I watched the ICMIL show with Riley Lively in it. And I didn't even realize she was following this case. I haven't been on TikTok in a while. I need to get back on TikTok. I miss my TikTok family. And so anyway, she talked to the family and said that, she went there to get the cigar. She talked to her brother that day, that evening, and her brother told her she wasn't. So it sounded like she was lonely. She wasn't ready to go to sleep yet. She really wanted to stay up. And, maybe she decided not to go home. Maybe after she got the cigar, she's like, screw it. Let me go for the ride. Let me take a ride that we always take when I'm with my friends. Because, occasionally, even her family said She goes to vineyards and orchards to clear her mind. She loves vineyards and orchards. So if they love vineyards and orchards to clear her mind, and she usually goes to this area to smoke with her friends, it's not uncommon or out of character that she would go to this area, especially if she's frequent to this area in the past on multiple occasions, which it sounds like she has. So her going in this direction really isn't this, somebody took her and threw her phone out. She is known to frequent this area. Okay. Just want to make sure everybody's clear. She's known to frequent this area. Let me show you a few things that concern me. And I'm sure that they concern you too. Let me pull this up. I want you guys to watch this here, okay? And then we'll go back to it. And then it's going to play again. And we're going to watch it again. And then I'm going to stop it. I'm going to show you a couple things that concern me with this video. Hey, Justice. Hope you're well. I just ran over the facts. If you want to, I just put a timeline together and put it up before this. We've only been running live, so about 15 minutes back. So, okay, guys, I want to show you something that I found very, oh, come on now. Let's start over. Oh, I'm hitting the wrong button. That's fine. Okay, I'm going to show you guys this. Watch how she walks. She turns around and walks out the door. Right there. Right there. You can tell she is not, she stepped wrong. She's off balance. Right there. She's off balance. Watch how she opens that car door. This woman, I know her family said she only had 2 beers, but what I'm seeing here is a woman that appears visibly intoxicated. Now watch how she opens that door. Just kind of slings it. You know, this woman, she's walking, but she's not walking straight. She's showing signs of that she's intoxicated. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning, everyone. Those that are just coming in, we're getting about 200 in the chat at the moment. Please go out and make sure that you like this video. I'm going to go over a couple things. Let me go back to the beginning here because I think it'll be beneficial for you guys, especially ones that are just coming in. We'll go back over the slideshow just real quick. Let me find it first. Do I still have it up? That's the question. I think I shut it down. Hold on just a second. Let me pull this off the screen so you guys can see me instead of what I'm talking about. So it looks like I've already removed them. Hold on a second. Let me. Give me a second. I'm going to get these up and I'm going to put them in order so they pop up right. Okay. So for those that are just tuning in, let's just go over a few facts about this case. Again, this is just for your information about this case. These are the factual information that we have. She was 22 years old. She's got brown hair, brown eyes. I do not know her height and weight. I'm sorry. I tried to look. I couldn't find it. She went missing the early morning hours of August 7th, 2021, which for all of you guys, it was a day after Kiely Rodni disappeared. She was driving a gray/silver 2011 Hyundai Accent with California license plate number 8, M as in Michael, P as in Paul, U as in umbrella, 766. There is a $10,000 reward that will lead to any information related to her whereabouts. And this is just a timeline. On August 6th, she was at a family gathering. There was a disagreement. She left. The disagreement was over her wanting to stay up longer. The party goers, the homeowners did not. She ended up leaving. She went back to her home. It says to grab belongings, but I believe she was going back home for the night, but she did not want to go to sleep. Like I said, she seemed like she just did not want to, she wanted to keep going. So at 4:06, she was captured on CCTV footage at the AMPM gas station on Nebraska and Highlands. At 5:24 to 5:25 and 5:25 rather, she tried to make 2 FaceTime calls to her sister that went unanswered. On August 7th, 7 p.m., she was officially reported as missing, and this was the last day her phone pinged. There was an emergency ping initiated on August 8th, and drones and helicopters were deployed on August 9th. Also on August 9th, several search warrants were issued for cell phone records, social media records, banking information and transaction, and any other digital media. Law enforcement let us know in their press conference that since she went missing, there has been absolutely no activity on her cell phone, social media, or banks. The Selma Police Department released information about her disappearance on their social media platforms, and law enforcement started receiving leads, but nothing led to her whereabouts. On August 11th, this is when they got the information related to the last location of her last ping, and it appeared to be in the Avocado Lake area. Law enforcement doesn't believe there are foul means. However, this is a criminal investigation. And this is her missing. This is her car. This is her license plate. This is what she looks like. And it just kind of breaks down a timeline that goes through the 12th. And from the 11th on, the search still continues. So that is really it in a nutshell for all the factual information that we have on Jolissa Fuentes. Jolissa Fuentes. So this is what was concerning a lot of people, because people are like, why in the world is she going, 114 miles out of her way? And believe it or not, guys, she's made this trip many times with her friends. She really has. Like I said, this was their trip that they sometimes took to smoke. And I'm talking about smoking marijuana. I.e. the reason she needed a cigar. So I believe she was possibly intoxicated. Again, from this video right here, I'm going to push this video back up for you guys to see. When she turns around to walk out the door, you can see she steps and almost loses a little bit of her balance. She's just visibly intoxicated to me. And it's right here, right there. And then when she goes to her car and opens up her car door, you can see she kind of, right there, her arm's just, people don't open their doors like that typically. So that leads me to believe that she was visibly intoxicated. And just because you're visibly intoxicated doesn't mean you're falling over drunk, okay? I just want to be very clear with you that, I'm not saying that she was falling over drunk. I am saying that it does appear that she is intoxicated. So, is there any questions that you guys have that I might be, I did a lot of work on this. I didn't know if there's any specific questions that you may have related to this. We went over the timeline with the family. Okay, and here's another statement they said. They do not believe that there's foul means, but she's been gone for a really long time. This is not normal behavior for Jolissa. While there's nothing overtly to lead law enforcement to believe that a criminal act occurred, however, because of the amount of time and the unusual behavior Ellie is conducting a criminal investigation. And if you guys know, we talk about on here a lot about this criminal investigation. You know, there's certain protocols depending on what type of investigation that they are in. A missing person investigation, they have more communication with the family, you know, all this other stuff. When they have a criminal investigation, they're limited in the information that they provide the family and get out. And in a homicide investigation, everybody's pretty much blocked out of the investigation unless the information does not go to the integrity of the investigation. And then at that point, literally at that point, that'd be it. He didn't buy anything. What's her age? She's 22 years old. Did she park on the side of the store or in front? Okay, so let me get a photo. Good question. I don't know if I have the right location. Hold on a second. Let me see if I can find it. There it is. Yes, maybe that's not it. Let me go to the front. I think this is where she was at, right here. I think this is where she was parked at. Right there. I actually think that right where that car right there is parked is where she was parked, and the black car was parked like right here. That was in that video. This is the area. This is the actual store that they were at. Okay, let's see what else we got for questions in here. What's her age? 22 years old. He didn't buy anything. Selena, I'm not sure. What do you mean he didn't buy anything? She purchased a cigar. Was it her that usually drove when she would go that route with her friends? It's my understanding, Mary Jane, that she would drive this with her friends. But they said they typically go up there and back. They never stay or anything like that. But again, you know, you guys have to remember, she was at that family party from 8 p.m. and she made it back to her home around 3 a.m. That is a lot of potential alcohol and other things. And then she still wanted to stay up even longer. She wasn't ready to go to bed. She wasn't ready to, stop the festivities, so to speak. So after she got home, it looks like she was home for maybe an hour, less than an hour. And then she went out to the store. I'm curious to see if she called any of her other friends, because it sounded like she was just really lonely and just was not ready to go to bed. So, she was calling her brother to hang out with him. She wanted to hang out at the party longer. The party, they ended up having the disagreement and she ended up leaving. She wasn't ready to go home. She didn't want to go home. She's a 22-year-old. That it was a Saturday night and she was ready to have fun. She wanted to have fun. So this might be another case of like a Kiely Rodni, where she went out there. It's more of a rugged terrain. It's not as flat and low lying as this area right here is. It's more rugged terrain as you go further, northwestern. And so I'm very curious, if she didn't happen to, it was dark out too. So she's under the influence. She hasn't slept. Even if lights were coming, just barely poking out, it's still dark as heck, probably on some of those back roads. And she could have gotten lost. She could have turned around. She could have drove one direction because she got mixed up and drove herself right into the water. It could be of nefarious means. We do not have enough information to make that determination. Question, what about the guy walked out before her? He didn't look like he was paying her any mind. He looked like it was 4 o'clock. He looked like he was a worker. He was probably heading to work or just getting off a night shift. He didn't look like he was paying attention to her at all. Usually when people are following, they kind of zone in on you. Their eyes are on you. Their body's towards you. No, it doesn't show her driving away. I don't think anybody has released those videos yet. There are so many kids and young adults experimenting with drugs and alcohol like in the past, but nowadays it's more dangerous because things can be laced and ODs happen. Well, those things, people, listen, I get people are talking about laced, but I mean, outside of like your actual illicit drugs, most of the stuff's not going to be laced. People are not going to spend the money to lace your papers that you roll, marijuana with and stuff like that. I get what you're saying, and you are correct. Nowadays, it is dangerous because of the type of drugs. But I think kids are doing this all by themselves. They don't need to be laced. They don't need to be roofied. They're going out there shooting a bunch of shots and things like that. But there are cases where that does happen, and you'll see that, that being talked about. But in my opinion, and granted, it does happen at parties. We've seen it at frat parties. We've seen it at, high school parties. So it is possible, but, I even heard that they were putting that fent on, your street marijuana. I don't know. I'm not familiar, or too familiar, I should say, with that. But the family also said that at the party, she only had 2 beers and was not drunk at all. I'm sorry, guys. I mean, bear with me here, but I don't know if I believe that. I don't know if I believe that, because I saw her in that video, and you can clearly see her sway in several areas of that video. And that sway is a sway that you get when you're under the influence. And so I see it. I know it. I know it personally. Normally you buy from the same supplier, so pretty much you know what you're getting. Well, absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. But, sometimes they don't even know where it's coming from. If there's a drought, they don't care where it's coming from. Just hook them up. And even the person, they don't know, because it's coming from that stuff is usually done for the person, from the person, of the person, of the person, back to where it probably originated from. And none of the people down the line even are aware of it. I sway, and I'm super tired. I don't drink. Yeah, but then she would have went home. If she was super tired, she would have went home and smoked at home, so she could have gone to bed right after. Oh, I just realized I'm not on the screen. You guys are still watching. Sorry, that SUV. They said there was an altercation. What else do we have here for her? No foul play or criminal, or thinking that criminal activity occurred. They're just treating this as a criminal investigation. And the reward, I think I did tell you guys, because on the flyer it still says $5,000. The reward has increased to $10,000. And it appears that she worked at the packing house. And as I said, 8/5 was the last time on her known bank credit card that she had activity. But we clearly saw her using a credit card at the AMPM grocery store or a gas station, but we don't know what kind of card it is. Some people had suggested that it's possible that card, that it was a, like a prepaid card that, I guess they have a PayPal card or a Chime card, or one of those cards that you put the money that's direct deposit on. You can use it for whatever money you have in the account, but it's not like a bank account. So those are some of the stuff. And then now we're going to just I'm just going to show you guys some photos of the area, and then we're going to move on to Kiely Rodni and the updates for Kiely Rodni, or a gift card. Yeah, Oh, I guess, yeah, maybe like a Visa card or American Express. I doubt this AMPM actually has gift cards. So, but yeah, I see what you're saying. You can use any kind of Visa or MasterCard gift card for any place. Yeah, good point. So Deborah Sharp, she's been missing since August 7th. Today is August 24th. So we're already in the third week. Now, this is the other case that Adventure with Purpose is getting involved in. They're getting involved in this case, which is kind of near Fresno, as well as, sorry guys, as well as another older gal by the name of Annette Adams. So it appears that sometimes, that Annette, Kiely, and Jolissa, they kind of, the Adventures with Purpose is going to try to help out in those cases. That would be amazing if Adventures with Purpose found her. I asked, let me just go over some of the stuff that I had been asking. I asked a source of mine. I'll read this to you. Well, I'll turn it down because every time I go in here, it starts. Okay, here. So I asked a source about, because they told me that her and her friends go up there. They just don't stay. They just drive up to the area where her phone last pinged from to smoke marijuana. And they usually just drive up there and drive back. That's like a 2-hour drive, just to go out, get out, just to hang out. It's a 2-hour drive. She was 22 years old and did work. She worked at some sort of packing house or something of that nature. So my source said that they got the information from one friend who is rumored. So she got the information that they go out there to smoke from a friend. And my source actually asked for a map of them to show the route that they the friends as well as Jolissa take. She has not gotten it yet. So, and I'm just like, and here's my response. This is mine. So I said, I gotcha. I was reviewing the store footage over and over again. She does appear intoxicated with several gestures and moves she made, including opening the car door. I was reading, the family said she likes to go to the vineyards and orchards to clear her mind, etc. The minute I heard she stopped by the store and bought a cigar, I knew she was rolling a blunt. I then heard that she goes up into that area with friends to smoke, and I thought maybe she went there because she had this disagreement with her family earlier at the party that she left, wanted to clear her head and smoke a blunt. If they could show the route that they took, it might help LE as well as AWP decide which bodies of water to check. Just my thoughts. Thanks for your hard work. So that was my point. So I'm trying to use somebody a little bit more close to the family to try to get this information, which will benefit this person as well as me and as well as the case. But I would like to know what their general drive route that they take there, because she would most likely take that same route if she was intentionally going there. And I believe with her dropping off, and it's similar circumstances like Kiely. They both were at parties. They both were drinking, and it's like they both fell off the face of the earth the same day that they were last seen, and in the areas they were last seen. I really believe she might be another one that's submerged, because it was whenever I was wondering why Adventures with Purpose were in. Here's why. Not in, but working this case is because I know that they typically only do the water searches. But I wanted to give you kind of a ground view, if I can. Hold on, let me see here. I want to give you a ground view of where she was. And this is what confused me, because in the area that she's in, there is no water there. And I was looking everywhere. Before we had any information on pings, I was literally trying to search this map for any bodies of water in and around this area. And I could not. I literally could not. I couldn't find any bodies of water. see if I can do this. Oh my God. Sometimes this stuff gets so frustrating. It doesn't want to, you got to keep hitting it to get it to go in. So let's get our little guy. Go down here. It's just flat. It's flat for the, as far as the eye can see, flat. There's no water around here. It's just flat. Like this, she's not going to be here. I can tell you that. This whole area is flat. This whole area is flat. But you can see how flat it is from this view here. No bodies of water, nothing. But whenever you go over to where the area that she was last pinged, you see nothing but water all around here. You got a whole bunch of bodies of lakes. You got this Avocado Lake here, which she could have gotten off the road and ran right into the lake right here. I mean, there's like a lot of stuff. And then you got some of these other smaller bodies, but if all that's required is that it's deep enough to swallow a car. So I bet you she was up here, which she has gone to this area many times before. And then here's there's the other big body of water. Pine Flat Lake. So Avocado Lake and Pine Flat Lake. These are big bodies of water. Another thing that we learned from the press conference is that they do not have the manpower or the ability, because of some of this terrain out here, to cover the full 15 square miles. They have to cover 15 square miles to find her. So they're working with the FBI to provide a specific pinpoint in this, a specific pinpoint for the phone, so they're able to maybe get a more precise location for her. Yeah, the 1 hour trip away is where the water is at. And I think why they're looking at those bodies of water over there. There is literally, where that gas station is, for many miles. I mean, from this gas station all the way to the interstate to Fresno, California, there is literally no ponds, no pockets of water anywhere on that route to Fresno. You have to go northwest, northeast, northern to find the areas. This specific area right in and around where she was last seen, no water, no ponds, nothing. Like, I don't even see a blip of blue. Okay. Wasn't AWP going because they went that way for Kiely? Yes, but I believe they were planning on going out there anyways. They did end up going out there for Kiely, but they were going to, they went out for Kiely. They wrapped all that up, not yesterday, the day before yesterday. And then they were going to take 2 days downtime, and then they were going to be back out to Jolissa's case, and then going over to Annette Adams' case. So it may be because they were out there. I don't know. We can assume. I think we're all a little scared. It's a little scary for all of us to know that it's just, I think about it too, because, it scares me. I travel an awful lot, and I like to travel. I personally prefer being in a collaborative environment with multiple people as opposed to going places by myself. Maybe it's just because of my experiences in the past, but I hate, I will do it. Don't get me wrong. I mean, this is work. So if I can't collab with somebody and I need to go out somewhere, I will go out by myself and do it. I prefer not to. I like to know that, I've got somebody that I can rely on. I typically, even with like when Olivia and Mom and I go out, we typically, when we go out searching for people, we always like to have a male present, whether it's Jonathan, whether it's somebody else. Like we went out there to Myakkahatchee Creek Environmental Park to do some drone footage. And, we had a few males meet us out there because Jonathan was unable to attend that day. But we just really, we try to be very cautious. We're not stupid. We know the kind of work we do, and we try to keep ourselves safe. So. The police office is a small group of officers, let alone having resources. Yeah, that's why they typically, in any kind of any city setting, when they have something that's like a murder, they typically always push it up to the county sheriff, because the county sheriff always, always, always has more resources than a city, always. Just like the state of Florida, or the state of that. So for this example, it's the state of California has more resources than Fresno County, and has more resources than, obviously, Selma Police Department, a small little police department. So when you hear them, getting resources from their county counterparts or the state counterparts or the federal counterparts, it is because specifically for that. Yeah. And you have to go through the whole bureaucratic red tape to open those resources up. So that's really it. Do I have any more stuff on here? We got some, I'm going to be going through that here in just a second. Seeing if there's any major stuff going on. Heading to Avocado Lake in about an hour, do a few hours of searching, then I'll do a live here. Yeah, if anybody's out in that area, I'm curious. I'd like, but until we have, because I got, sorry guys, my allergies have really been acting up. So I'm just, I'm kind of at odds with this, because I want to be able to look at the sonar. I want to be able to see what's in those waters, see if we can make Stony Stone. This might be a good one. Why don't you get that sonar program that you were able to use for Kiely Rodni, and see if you can look at any of those bodies in and around that Avocado Lake, the Avocado Lake, Pine Valley Lake, whatever the heck, Flats, Pine Flat Lake. There we go. And maybe see if you can make heads or tails of anything. I'd like to see a 2 for 2, So people are already speculating that there was somebody in the car with her. Law enforcement has stated that there is nobody in the car. They have more angles of the video than we do, than we have access to. So they're making a bold statement that she was alone in that car. I truly believe she was alone in that car. Just saying. Just my opinion. Speculate away. My job is to provide you facts and my speculation. And then I open the phones up so you guys can speculate. So, see if there's anything else in here. And then we'll go over to, and that's another thing that they, the family's feeling beat up. They're like, they're saying basically that they don't feel like law enforcement is communicating with them. And, we do with this stuff a lot now, and we know a lot about it. And the bottom line is, and here's some more photos of her. And here's her with her car right there. That's what her car looks like. And I forgot what I was talking about, but either way, we need to find her. But I'd like to find the location on the map. They're trying to get us a better ping location, so we are more accurate. And I'm sure for Adventures with Bird, what makes me upset about this particular law enforcement agency is it didn't seem like if you guys watched that press conference, the latest one, they didn't seem like they were too overly excited about Adventures with Purpose coming in. And it really just rubs me the wrong way, because law enforcement has got to stop. I understand that there's an investigation, but they got, if people can help, let them help. Let them help. Do your investigation after the person's located. We got some good law enforcement agencies out there that don't mind asking for help, and then we got ones that are just stubborn. And this seems like it's just getting to be the one that's just stubborn. So, you know, the parents are basically saying that they're heartbroken over the slow progression in the investigation. You know, they think this is slow progression, and it is. You know, it feels like eternity when you're dealing with this. But they're actually moving very well, you know, through all of this stuff from what I can see on my end. But again, I'm not the one having to deal with this on their end. And it's sad because, you know, families they just want answers. They don't care how they get the answers. They just want answers. And so this is just articles going over the same stuff that we went over. I'm just trying to see. Do we have, we might have a video here.
Step into the new when you drive a Chevy. It's time for a
Give me a
fresh
13-second
perspective. And
I gotta blow my nose. Sorry, guys.
Find new experiences. Find new roads. Chevy.
Ready? Okay. Good afternoon. My name is Chief Rudy Alcrest with the Selma Police Department. I want to thank you all for joining us.
Help if I unmuted myself. So I'm not going to play this whole entire clip of this this whole press conference. I've already relayed to you the information that came out of this press conference. There's really not a whole lot. It looks like this man has been beat up by this I don't know. I guess he's probably the chief of police for Selma Police Department. Either way, he seems like he's been beat up by the community for their lack, you know, their families just wanting transparency through this process because they don't understand. Once it goes to the criminal investigation aspect, they go into limited information. Like it's not even on a need to know basis. It's on a, you know, if we want you to even, you know, I don't know how to explain it, but either way, lots of stuff coming out on this. So I just want to go over to Riley, Kiely Rodni just a little bit. And let's just go through these photos real quick so you guys get to see them, and then we'll be done. Why is this thing not doing that? All right, guys, I'm ready. Today's not my day. Worked hard on this stuff, and I can't even get the darn stuff to work right. So whatever. Let me see if there's any important. Oh, the family's been really working hard to get you know, her face out there. They've been doing a lot. I thought this was interesting. I wanted to show you, you know, there's a whole community that's really showing up and supporting this family and supporting their need to get answers. So and again, so that's that. I don't think we have anything else. Just more searching for Kiely, the fact that Adventures with Purpose. So Jennifer Coffendorfer said a comprehensive article. This is the article that actually goes through a lot right there. Where did her cell phone ping at 5:30? Why aren't feds and Ellie assisting? This was a few days ago. This is when everybody was trying to get out and, you know, find out why law enforcement isn't answering the questions of the family, isn't answering the questions of the public, and they're just really being tight-lipped. There's multiple reasons for that. They always give you the standard crap that, you know, this is an ongoing investigation. Because it's an ongoing investigation, we can't blah, 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 right? Like, I'm so sick of hearing, I swear to God, I think every single law enforcement agency across this country parrots the same exact nonsense.
They all say love her.
Oh, I'm not playing that. That's from somebody that I don't, we will watch this one if it comes on. And we'll watch another ad, and then once the ad's over with, we'll be good. think this is the one. Loved ones and law enforcement authorities in Fresno are searching for the Selma woman for 2 weeks. She went missing the early morning hours of August 7th. All this stuff is still, I think this is old information, all the stuff that I was studying. So getting on to Kiely's story, the bottom line is Kiely, many of you guys either think that the kids out there were responsible for her disappearance. I personally do not. I never really did. However, you know, this case is far from being over. They still have to show how she wound up in the water, what happened. They have to, you know, find these things out. It could very well be that something happened. I mean, we do have a broken window in the vehicle. Somebody is putting around that Sammy changed clothes and was wet. Like, you know, these rumors have got to stop. Okay. This is literally this morning was the first time I ever heard anybody ever make a statement that Sammy may have been wet or changed clothes. I call BS on that statement. I don't believe it's true. I believe it's garbage. We have to start doing better on YouTube to make sure the information is accurate and correct. Now, if it was, and she did, we need to find out what happened. Because again, I was talking to a couple of my mods in here about my theory as to what may have happened with Kiely. I do not believe that that somebody pushed her vehicle in there. I do not believe that somebody tried to kill her. I believe that this is a classic case. I'm starting to feel like that might be the same with Jolissa as well, but I haven't gotten enough information to make a determination one way or another. But for Kiely, many of you guys know, even as unpopular as my thought process was on this case, I did think that she did this to herself. I believe that this was something where a young girl got entirely too intoxicated and got behind the wheel of her vehicle, and getting behind the wheel of a vehicle under the influence of alcohol can have devastating effects. This is the reality of that choice. People, in my opinion, wanted to escape that. They didn't want to think that this girl could do it. But when you're not in your right mind, you're not in your right mind. It's just that simple. You know, but is it possible, you know, and I explained this to a couple mods yesterday. Is it possible that, you know, maybe because I don't think the kids had anything to do with it. I just don't. I don't believe that this was a setup. I don't believe that this is, you know, that she had an OD and they loaded her up in the vehicle and pushed her out in the water so they don't have to deal with it. I don't think when you have 300 people there is one person there that absolutely will not be a part of something like that. Okay, there always is. So it would have came out a lot sooner. It would have came. I'm that way. Like, don't take me if you're committing a crime. You don't want me anywhere near you. You don't want me knowing about it. Because if a law enforcement agent comes and knocks on that door and asks me questions, I'm telling that law enforcement agent the truth. So don't bring me in. You know, there are people like that. There are people like that. There are many of you are like that. So I just don't believe that, you know, that everybody was able to keep 300, 400 people. Now, mind you, this party was bigger than 300. We have proved that because the last press conference, they clearly state we have already spoken with over 400 youths. Over 400. Okay. So the idea that this is, you know, that you can keep 400 people under control, you can't. And there was adults out, people aren't getting involved in somebody ODing and pushing them into water. I'm sorry. Somebody would have cracked by now if that was the case, if this was planned or anything like that. I truly believe that. I could be wrong. Could be wrong. Won't be the first time. Won't be the last. I'm a human. But I did believe that. And I also believed that it was possible that maybe somebody did see what happened and went out there to render aid, realized maybe the windows were closed up or something to that. They couldn't get the door open. So they had to come back on the surface and get something to break the window and go back down. But by the time they broke the window, she was already gone. There's that possibility. And maybe that was the exiting because everybody at this point now freaked the F out and they just want to get the hell out of there. That could be possibility. But with the mass exit, with the fact that all these children Nobody saw her leave. I have a funny feeling nobody saw her go into the water. Could be wrong. I don't know. Our friend Stony Stone. What's shaking bacon?
Hey, real quick. So, I just wanted to
You're breaking up. Stony? Hello?
that picture.
You're breaking
about
up. You're breaking up.
Oh,
I can't even
about
hear
that.
you.
Is this better?
Keep going.
Okay. So the picture that was taken of all them kids turned away, most of the kids were turned away.
Yeah, hold on. Just sit here for a second. Let me find that
All right.
photo so I can pull that up.
Yeah.
Okay.
Let's see if we can find that. I'm just curious.
I got it.
I haven't really said this to many
Right
people.
there.
Yeah, let's see. All right. So let me look. Yeah, they're all looking away. Why are they looking away? As soon as you hear something somewhere, like a splash of a car hitting water or a tree falling or branches being stepped on or anything, wouldn't your head automatically turn and then your body follow it? Because looks like everyone's looking in a certain direction versus toward the person with the camera and the person with the camera.
It looks to me that some people are definitely looking at something, but it doesn't look
They're
like
all
everybody's
looking pretty much at the same direction.
No, these kids here are just talking. They're just standing around talking, having a good time. These people here are standing and talking.
But they're not facing each other. They're facing away from each other.
No, they're in almost a circle. They're all like this. People here outside of this guy, they're all facing each other.
All right.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, there are a few that are bending over and looking. But
I'm not talking about that.
The majority aren't even paying attention.
Yeah, they're looking the other way. Why are they all kind of looking the other way? And they're all kind of going toward one direction.
Mm-hmm.
You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And a couple of them are getting the hell out of there. And the one that
there was the mass exiting at midnight. And we do still, I mean, it was reported, and I believe that they would have reported it accurately from Adventures with Purpose that the window was broken when they got down there, and there was.
So was the mirror.
Yeah. But the mirror, I can see that breaking. That could just break just from sliding on the bottom ground.
It could break.
Yeah, because that's easy to break. I mean, a kid could probably break that off if they hit it just right, Yeah. But the window, on the other hand, that's some tough stuff to get through. Yep. You can't kick that crap out hardly.
Not underwater.
Yeah, and then to have a window broken. Now, granted, if she passed out behind the car and just coasted right in, there might have been a branch or a tree or something that she skidded into that busted the window out before she went in the water.
I can tell you this from facts.
Mm-hmm.
When I found that car in the water, I knew that it was that vehicle. I knew it was.
Yeah. Well, I knew you knew it was because you let me know.
Because of how the point that I was having such a problem with is I didn't think the car was upside down. And I think I might have even said that to you. Are you there?
Yeah. John B just showed up.
I thought the car, from my experience, I thought the car would be more shinier, not being underwater that long.
Right.
And then once I realized this car's upside down, because we found the car on the 7th. So that car's been in that water from the 7th, and I can prove that.
Yeah.
So anybody that says she was pushed in the water or this,
and I can corroborate that too, because the sonar program you use, it gives you like every few days it'll pop up with new readings, and the next one below that was on the 4th. So you went from the 4th to the 7th.
Yep.
And so it wasn't there on the 4th, but it was definitely there on the 7th.
On the 4th, but it was because I traveled back to see how far I could go back past the time that she ended up missing.
Right.
And I the only one that it would allow me to get, there was 3 images on the 4th, and I grabbed the only image that I could prove. All 3 of them, 2 of them was kind of weird looking, and that the one from the 4th was a good image, and that car was not there on the 4th.
No, I went back and looked at it myself.
But
Don, hey, what's going on? You got anything to add?
Well, I was going to do a video this morning, but even though I've got me a little private office, it's not so private. I'm telling you guys, if you are stuck, listen, if you're stranded on a deserted island somewhere and you want to be rescued, try to do a YouTube video. Somebody will show up out of nowhere.
Right? I know, right? It's true.
Or a pet, right?
Yeah. Okay. So
I had to shut down everything. Yeah.
So I'm looking at Kiely's car here, resting on the bottom of the lake.
Yeah.
It's crooked. Just like I said, there could be a variable where when it did flip, it is.
Can you, sorry, Don, I don't mean to interrupt you, but can you send me that photo? I'd like to take a look at it. bullhornbetty@gmail.com.
Okay.
I just want to take a gander at it.
I had to.
Just remember, Don, it could be crooked because of the way the photo was taken too.
Well, it looks like now I've got 40 years of photography experience.
Sure, absolutely.
I
got 15 of sonar.
And the way I'm looking at this, the car is resting cockeyed on the driver's side door.
Okay.
Yep.
Not completely flat on top of the CRV.
Right.
That would explain when they pulled it out of the water why there was no damage done to the roof of the car.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because it must have came to rest cockeyed on the A pillar where the mirror is.
Well, look, this is the way I think that the car, once it went into the water, because it launched off the sand, there's a downslope. I seen it. When I found the car, it was at 15 foot, 8 inches deep. When they pulled the car, when Adventures with Purpose got there and pulled the car, they guesstimated it to be 14 foot. What had happened was water level had dropped from the time that I got eyes on the car on the 7th till I don't know what the water level was on the 4th, but I can tell you I know what it was on the 7th. It was 15.8 inches.
I think they said it dropped roughly around 3 feet.
Yeah.
So it was 15.7 when I spotted it. And then later on, when we went back, like on the 15th, and it was lower, I got a better image of 14th to the 15th. That's why I released it to Adventures with Purpose and said, this is it. Go get it, guys. I released it to everybody because you could tell better that it was a car that was upside down. The big question in my mind was, if she drove the car in and launched it, I thought at first that she would have flipped it, but the car came out backwards, where the back window came out first. So somehow in 15.8 foot of water, the car did a flip and landed upside down. So you could be right, Don. That's how the mirror and the window got broke.
Yeah.
Turned into the water and went down.
Yeah. And then I don't know if that would have busted the window, but when the divers went down to hook up the cables to the axles and they rolled the car over to the tires, there could have been a rock protruding on the lake floor. And as that window rolls over that rock, guess what happens?
Right.
Yeah, it'll pop a window.
Yeah.
And we don't know how many boats went by there with the water low, because I'm going to tell you what, if you dove in that water at 14 foot, all it would take you is to go down 8 feet, maybe, and you'd be on the roof of that car.
Yeah.
And also, if you guys look at the video, the photos that I'm popping up here, I had one of my mods had her husband look at the ridge when it was like dry. So you can actually see the ridge, and it looks like where her car went off is it was shallow up here, but then after it gets to a certain point, let me pull that back up again. Hold on a second. When it gets to a certain point, there's a ridge that just drops, and there's the ridge under the water, and it just falls straight down.
It falls straight down into the water. But the tire tracks only go up to the ridge. And then there is no more tire tracks. There's no footprints. Even with the rain, all that stuff didn't wash it away. because I still have the original tire prints on the ground on the video that I dropped when we found the car.
Mm-hmm.
But it doesn't go downward. It launches, and that's how the car, I believe, ended up doing its distance. But let me tell you the worst part of this for me, and this is the part I struggle with in my mind as I sit and think, just everything. If I could have got anybody to pay attention immediately, we could have had this girl at least.
We're never going to hear the end of this, Tony. Get off of it.
No, she could have been out of there earlier. We could have. All this speculation would have not existed. All this extra crap would not be there right now.
Right.
Just sorry, but that's the truth. I do this. I mean, I've been doing this a long time.
I think that remember the cop said that, you know, they didn't evacuate everybody off the lake because the more eyes the better.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, if it was me, I would have put out, I would have had every news station in that area. Let's do a press conference, because I want everybody within 100 miles of this place. If you've got a bass boat, if you've got a good fish finder or Garmin, please come out here, help us scan this lake.
Yeah.
We've got 2 boats. If we can get 50 boats out here, that would help. And if you see something, drop a pin on it with your GPS. Yeah. Keep track. Right. Let us know.
Right. Or if you got a half-ass decent, I don't know what I can say, on a half-ass decent drone, why don't you just go up and look down?
Yeah.
You found her. I guarantee.
Okay, now, Stoney, you've got GPS or you've got sonar experience, right?
Yeah, but I do it from satellite. I do it from my studio. I'm disabled.
Oh, okay. Well, I was fixing to say they make these little balls that you can actually put on your fishing line and throw it out into the water.
Huh?
And I think, Dick's has got them for like $200. And it's a little fish finder that you put. You can either put it on your kayak or you can tie it to your fishing line and throw it out in the water.
Sure.
I think it's got a depth of 50 feet that it'll scan.
Like a sonar?
It is a sonar.
Oh, that's cool.
Me show it to you?
I have never seen it.
Yeah, I'm interested in seeing it.
And I mean, just something that simple could have picked up that car in 14 feet.
Look, if the police would have done exactly what they should have and what they used all them man hours for, this is my opinion now, and I do back the police 100%. Don't think I know, but if they would have done their job and sent up a drone, spent the camera, because I own drones, and you spin that drone, the camera pointing down, there is no way they would have cleared that part of that lake without finding that car. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I found it the day after she got come up missing. I found her car in that lake in the exact spot, the 7th. Me and my son sitting on the couch. How is it I could find it with cell phones and a little technology? How could I find it? Oh, that is cool. How could I find it sitting on my couch? But they were there and cleared the lake and said, she ain't there. Wrong. 100%. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, and I'll show you. See right here? It Bluetooths to your phone.
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
That'd be nice. Yeah.
I've got bullets that do that too. They got cameras in them. Actually, you can actually see your target as it hits it. You can slow it down in slow motion. It's all like an app. That's cool stuff. I mean,
$200, and you $200, and you can get images.
Nice.
Like that off of your fishing pole.
Yeah. Nice.
That's pretty cool. I'm kind of into the sonar. My son's got like boats and stuff, and he uses sonar or depth finders and sonar kind of type stuff. They're awesome.
Yeah, and remember I was telling you, Betty, that they could have went up through there and just started GPS marking places of interest, and then went back over it with the fishing magnet to see if it was metal. Uh-oh, did we lose her?
I don't know. She said I was actually not sounding right either, but.
Uh-oh. But I was telling her, I think it was yesterday, that they could have sent boats up through there and just marked them if they had to, right?
Yep.
And dropped little GPS pins, and then went over it with like a fishing magnet to see if the big blob was metal. Even if they couldn't tell it was a car, if they see a blob, they could test it with a fishing magnet.
Sure. Yeah, absolutely.
Well, and lo and behold, after listening to AWP yesterday, talk to Fox News, that's what they done.
Exactly. Well, they had a location because I sent all the coordinates and everything to them. The police department, the FBI had it, all of them. I sent it to everybody on the 16th. Everybody.
Yeah, they dropped the fishing magnet. It hit the car, and they went down and checked it out.
20.
Wow. Yeah, that stuff is very interesting what they do. And, you know, my biggest concern is I don't want law enforcement being, especially this particular law enforcement agency being blamed, because one, they said, you know, they were very transparent and said, you know, maybe it's from training, maybe it's lack of training, you know, they're acknowledging that there's some issues there, but they didn't hold back. You know, they invited these adventurers with purpose they asked them to come. They actually, you know, shared information. They wanted to find this.
100%.
They knew she was out there. They wanted to find her, and that's exactly what they did.
Adventures with Purpose is awesome. I mean, when I'm free and just laying around not doing much, I binge watch them. So,
yeah,
I love them. I mean, I really support.
But they're specialized. They're special. It's almost like, you know, the SEAL teams. They're a specialized team. They're not, you know, we have Army men and stuff like that. And then we have Navy men, but we have a SEAL team.
Yep.
That are special. They're the SEAL team of, you know, of this sonar stuff, right?
Yeah, they're awesome.
Well, there again, it's
self-taught. That's all I know.
That's what I'm saying. It's not rocket science.
Right.
Can I show you something, Betty?
Yeah.
Now, before I show you this, I got a question. How many years of experience do you have looking at sonar?
I have 0 experience looking at sonar.
Okay. This is a basic sonar image, not advanced, not something that you have to set up for hours. I want you to see if you can tell me what this is, okay?
Okay. Bicycle. Did I get it right?
Yeah.
What do I win? I won something. I got it right. No, I'm just joking.
Can you tell me what this is?
I think it's, is that a little toy doll or?
It's a corpse.
Huh?
It's a dead body.
Oh, it is a dead body. I thought it was like one of those army, you know, people that have the little guns, you know, those little things that we used to play when we were younger.
But you see how good it sticks out?
Yeah.
You can see the arm, the shadow of the arm.
Yeah, that's why I thought it was one of those little army men, because they always have the guns.
Now, how much experience do you have in looking at sonar?
I got a wealth of knowledge today.
These guys need to be trained.
Yeah.
If you're going to be sitting on $50,000 worth of, okay, let me ask you this.
Because they have a rove, you know, I went on there on Prosser County and I did their video of this beautiful rove that they've got, you know, at their county.
If you're going to send a state trooper, out on the interstate for a 12-hour shift to do tickets all day and use a $2,000 radar system, you going to send him out there without knowing how to use it?
Right.
Absolutely not.
See, in this, I think they designate, if I understand, because, you know, I have a good working relationship with my sheriff here. And it's my understanding that they have a few select people in their office that go and get trained on these things. You know, they do the training and certifications for different, you know, equipment that they use. But my thing is if they're not using that, but once every 2 years or once every 3 years, the majority of their experience or education, their training to get that certificate is gone, because it's one of those things that you have to utilize every day to hone your skills. If you're not honing your skills.
Well, I kind of have to disagree, because if I show you how to use that fax machine behind you.
Mm-hmm. Oh, that's my big printer. That has huge toner cartridges in it. But yeah, I get what you're saying.
You're going to forget how to use it in 5 years?
No, No, but it's something that like back in the day, I utilized the fax machine every single day. You asked me to fax something right now, I probably wouldn't even remember how to fax because I faxed from the computer. In all reality, yeah, it's true.
Yeah. But I mean, this is one of those technologies where, like, I mean, if they've got it, I mean, just me being a guy,
Mm-hmm.
and even a woman or whatever, and knowing this technology,
It's gadget.
It's very retainable.
Mm-hmm.
It's like the radio in your car.
Yep.
If you get, let's say, if you had a 1980 Toyota Celica,
Mm-hmm.
and it just had a cheap AM FM radio in it, and you went out and got a 2022 Toyota Camry, yeah, the buttons are going to be a little bit different, but I have a feeling you'll still be able to figure it out.
Yeah.
Yep.
It's sonar. I mean, these things that these guys are using it's a little difficult, but I mean, they've only got.
Did they really? Because when they were asking him at that press conference, what the issue was. He's like, we had divers out there, and I keep wondering, did they just not use the sonar in that inlet? They just use it out there in the major body? Is that the reason why maybe it was possible that they missed it because they never even checked that spot with the sonar or with additional equipment?
I would have a feeling they would use the sonar no matter, unless they were because in the lake that I lived on,
Mm-hmm.
The lake can be crystal clear, but when you get in there, you'd be amazed, you've only got 6 feet of visibility once you get underwater.
Mm-hmm.
Because of the algae, all the stuff floating around.
Right.
And real quick, it only takes 10 feet in a boat to spin a circle to calibrate it.
Mm-hmm.
That's all it takes. 10 feet in a circle to calibrate your depth.
Yeah. Hold on just 1 second. I did want to, Texas Nan, she asked if you found the car, why didn't they take her out? So there's several reasons. I've seen it done both ways. This is just my thought, my opinion on it. She's been submerged underwater for many, many days. They probably didn't want to remove her because they didn't, the deterioration aspect of it probably needed to be done inside the lab. And when there's cases like that happen, they typically just take the whole car with the person in it directly, so everything stays in that vehicle.
Yeah.
So that's one of the reasons why they could do that. I've seen it done both ways, where they've actually pulled the person out and inspected them, but I've never heard of them doing that when somebody's been submerged underwater for 10 days. So that might have been the reason.
You'll lose sense that way too, Betty.
I mean, some of her probably came out of the car whenever they pulled it out too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it was cooler water, so should be preserved a heck of a lot better than, say, Brian Laundrie was after 10 days. But
still, inside the body is really warm, and that's where all the gases start to build up and break down, and you start having leakage after a few days, and
it gets pretty bad.
Yeah.
Hey, real quick, let me say, Betty, I appreciate you having me on, and if you get a chance, send me the information on the bodies of water around there, and I will see if I
Okay. Oh, you're talking about for Jolissa?
Yeah, that was my next case. Like I told you earlier, I'm gonna work on that one. So.
Yeah.
Hey, Stoney.
Yes, sir.
Do you know anything about lakes?
A little bit. I know.
Being a man and all that. Us men, we know a lot about lakes, supposedly. So do you know the difference between a natural reservoir like this one and a hydroelectric reservoir?
Hydroelectric reservoir.
That's where they generate electricity.
Yeah, that's where power plants get their water for their cooling systems.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A lot of people were talking about currents in this lake. And with this being just a natural dam instead of one that produces electricity, it's kind of like a pond, like a 100-foot pond that you would see up in Beach Creek. They've got natural drainage systems to where if that pond, gets too much, it's going to drain continuously.
Sure.
That's why this reservoir was. So it's not going to really have that much of a current underneath the water. But now if they opened up like floodgates and started generating electricity and started discharging like 8 Olympic pools every minute of worth of water, that would create a lot more current under the water.
Yeah. This particular pond, everybody's out there, you know, it doesn't have a whole lot of current because there's people out there kayaking, canoeing, you know, paddleboarding.
I've never been there, but I've seen it. But one more thing I wanted to say real quick. My opinion, solely my opinion, where she launched was off of 89. That road that goes in that kind of looks like it's cut off.
Mm-hmm.
It goes further than that, but it's probably 12 feet drop off at a nice even slope. That's 89.
You talk about basically where the tow truck was around in that area?
Yep, exactly.
Yeah.
That's 89. So a lot of people asked me that question. They were like, well, what road would she have been on? Well, at the end of that road is where she was found out a ways.
Mm-hmm.
And the road is 89.
Yeah.
Yep.
And the one thing I want to, I have a tendency of really going hardcore and just going 180 miles an hour with these things. But I see myself wanting to slow down here and stop and think, okay, well, yeah, there could be foul play, but, and I know Sammy's come under a lot of social media
Backlash.
Yeah.
To say the least.
Okay.
Her mom's an attorney.
Yeah.
If she gets emotional damage from this,
her dad's like a detective too, or something, isn't he?
Yeah, he's a
there could be some YouTube channels in trouble here.
Yeah.
Well,
I mean, it's different than you know, like if you know, like I don't have any information to really go at Sammy and say that she was this bad person,
right?
And to say that she was factually involved in what happened to Kiely. What kind of evidence?
None.
Even if this is a criminal, even if this is a criminal investigation.
There's only one thing I could say about the whole situation. Well, two things. One is I'm not interested in how it got to that point. I'm just glad that I could do what I do to help try to get back, period. I just wished it would have happened a few days sooner.
Yeah.
But it's going to turn into an ugly mess. And the people that were involved in trying to make this something that it wasn't and discrediting people, if it comes to be that way, oh, believe me, that attorney knows exactly what to do. There is going to be serious stuff going down, but it ain't my business, and I'm not going to even talk about it.
Well, and this is why I came out and tried to tell everybody just to back up off the children just a little bit. You know, everything that I was seeing was not showing me anything nefarious. It was showing me that a kid made a terrible decision.
There's only one thing, though, Betty. Look, if me and you go to a party together, we're going to leave together. We ride together.
Listen, we know that Sammy made a bad decision. I mean, I'm not discrediting that, but I don't think Sammy was really her friend. Sammy was just somebody she saw at parties.
I don't think they're buddies. I don't think they were homies, you know. I don't think they were. But, I mean, even if I didn't know you very well, I'm going to bring you back. If you came with me and you were drunk or you were messed up, you're coming home with me.
Yeah, not necessarily me. My thing would be, do you need me to call anybody for you? Would you like some help? If I don't know you that well, you're not my problem. I got to take care of myself.
I'm not that way.
You know, but I would offer to help. I
know people like that too, but I mean, me, it doesn't matter if I met you 15 minutes before. If we went to a party, you're going home.
Hey, I bought people taxis before. I mean, trust me, but it's not. You know, I don't put myself in a. If you're not,
but I don't
ride with me.
Or I don't want to be looked at if you end up disappearing in a car upside down at the bottom of a lake.
Right. Yeah. But she knew her. She was hanging out with her the whole entire thing. This is different, you know. a run of the, just running into somebody at a party, I would offer them help.
Right.
But if they were like, no, I got it, or I'll get a ride with somebody else, I'm like, okay, see you later.
I get it.
mean, I wouldn't be there, trying to force them to be responsible.
We got a problem here, though, guys. We got a problem here.
What's
Mhm.
that?
I'm 50. Don't worry about your age, Betty. Well, we've got some age on us, guys.
Yeah, I'm 50.
We've got to stop and think. These were 16-year-olds, and we've got to think the way 16-year-olds would think.
Yeah.
Same way my granddaughters would think.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, I know exactly.
Yeah, shoulda, woulda, coulda. But when it comes to being 16, we would have done this and we would have done that differently. But then again, there were 16-year-olds drinking and doing drugs at a party.
Yeah.
It went from a fight club to a knockout, drag out, and everybody's fighting. If you listen to the world, the YouTube streets talk about it. But realistically, I think it might have just turned a little ugly at times, and I think they were just there partying. That's my opinion.
Yeah.
That's
why I don't think everybody was like, why didn't they know where she was going? I mean, I've been at large parties before, and I'm telling you, you don't know. You're so into in the party and around all the noise and the booze and the music, you're not paying attention to anything going on outside of that.
Literally hypnotized.
I guarantee you, I would pay attention to something hitting water at 50, 60 miles an hour right next to me.
Mm-hmm.
Because I'm going to tell you where the party was. Her car wasn't 50 yards, 60 yards. That's exactly where her car was.
Yeah.
And I'm going to tell you.
I think it hit that ridge and just slid down. I think it just slid as far as it could slide until it stopped.
Now, do we have any factual evidence where exactly the party took place, where the kids were at on that map?
The maps are all over. I got like 4 or 5 of them. I'll show you which one I think is the most accurate. But I don't think anybody has.
Nobody's got it.
Everything.
Because I know factually where her car was found, but I don't know factually where the kids were congregating.
So this is, and I think this is wrong. This what I've got up right now. You guys can't even see it. Hold on, let me pull it up here.
I know where the car is exactly, pinpointed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Right, yeah.
Here's where her car. Well, her car was kind of over here.
Right.
It just came right out here. The X is off just a little bit. They're trying to say the people parked out here. I don't believe that, and I don't believe the party was here. I think the party was either here or here. I don't think the party was down here in these trees. I think it because they said it was a clearing. So I think it was right here. I actually believe that the people were probably parking right here.
It was closer to a ledge, though. I know that.
Yeah.
And I was thinking that it was the best that I can come up with from the images from the sonar, from the landing spots that had a lot of trees, but it was pretty wide open, would be there where your arrow is, where your little X is.
Right.
And her car is right there, and that's exactly where I got her car. That's exactly where I got her car. But
where they parked and where the actual party took place, I don't think these are right. I don't think these here are right. I really don't.
Yeah.
I don't.
I'm thinking right there where your little cursor was.
Yeah.
Where it was. That's how I got that 50 to 60, maybe 70 yards to where the car was. But she had I'm not even going to try because I'm not positive how she got to that point, but I know she wasn't pushed. There was no footprints around the stand. There's tire tracks.
Yeah, and just for everybody out there to know, I honed in on this dirt to find out why they couldn't see tire prints. There are so many tire tracks all over that place.
Oh yeah, people go 4-wheeling. They put their boats in.
Yeah, they wouldn't have seen them. They would have been masked by all other tracks. I mean, tracks.
There is tracks going off that road, almost like not directly on that street. Like she knew she had run out of road and tried to avoid what was coming.
Yeah.
But they're like a single set of tracks. It went off into the sand, it depends on which way you're looking at it.
Yeah.
It went wheels left, so she went kind of to the left. If you're looking at it from a different angle, it would look like if you're looking at it head on, she looked like she went right. And then it just went back and straight off into there within feet.
Right.
Now her wheels were turned when they pulled it out of the water. I did see there was a photo, a good clear photo that was taken, and it did look like the front wheels were turned to the left.
Gotcha.
Exactly, like she was trying to avoid it. That's kind of what I seen in the sand too. I don't know. I'm not going to get that deep into it. I just know that the car ended up upside down,
Mm-hmm.
and they drug it out backwards, which tells me that she went in nose first, and when it hit the water, the car decided it was going to take a turn, and that's how it landed upside down.
Right.
Yeah.
There's not a lot of significant damage on the car when they drug it out to say that it flipped down the hill or any of that stuff. The only thing that was broke is the mirror in the window.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So it is what it is. Look, if I was healthier, I would have on the 7th, I would have been on an airplane out there. I'm not.
There it is. You can see the front wheels turned.
Yeah.
Exactly. There you go. And you see how it drags on the sand there?
Mm-hmm.
It drags back in the.
I wonder if she flipped before and slid down the ridge, or if she went in there with all tires and then it flipped as it went down the ridge.
Look, there's really no damage, even though it was on its roof.
Yeah.
Turned over.
Well, it wasn't on its roof. It was actually on its driver's side.
I get it.
Well,
but
yeah.
With it being turned, there's not much damage. There's not even damage on the side of the vehicle.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
He would have hit hard.
Yeah. There's not, as far as I know, there's not even any damage to the front bumper.
There's no front end damage. There's no popped tires. It just looks like she made a wrong turn. I guarantee. We looked at photos of a news reporter out there, and he had his, news reporting lights, and right behind him, you literally couldn't see anything. It was just the light. You had the halo of the light around him, and nothing but pitch black behind him. Yeah. And I just think that she didn't even realize she was so drunk. She probably hit that water, didn't realize why her car wasn't going.
Yeah.
Before she realized that, she was trapped, it was too late.
Yep.
Yeah, but if that car had flipped going down that embankment,
yeah, you would have had the whole side.
There'd been a lot more damage.
Yeah,
there would have been damage in the sand, and there was none.
Yeah.
If she would have flipped off of 89,
mm-hmm.
there would have been marks everywhere she hit. It would have been better for her to flip, to be honest with you. She wouldn't have probably went as far hitting.
Because it has slowed down the...
It has slowed down, which makes me think that she launched off of 89, off the ledge, which ain't huge, into the water. And then when she did, it nosedived right into the water, and then it did its turn.
Yeah.
Because that's the way it was found. The car was, look, I got the tires. It was the bottom of the car is what and I didn't release none of it till the. And I think, did I talk to you the 15th or the?
You talked to me that Tuesday. I don't know what date the Tuesday was.
That's the 16th, then the same day that I brought it to Jimmy.
Yeah, because I talked to you later in the afternoon.
Yep. Yeah, and I talked to Jimmy that night, but I dropped it to Jimmy, I think, on the 15th. I think I sent him the email on the 15th, and you need to see this. And he wouldn't.
What I was thinking about is whatever because it looks like there's the damage. It looks like there's like a crease in the door and the damage on the mirror. And I'm wondering if that was a rock, if maybe it was in fact a rock that busted the window out. Because my thing is if she were to, even if she couldn't get to the surface before she took her last breath underwater or whatever it may be. You would think that she would have been out of the car. So that tells me she was still in the car. Even if the window was broken, she would have floated out of it at some point. But
that makes me think she was alive when she hit the water.
Yeah.
But another thing, I know that there was other stuff around where the car was. I'm going to go back look closer, try to re-image the photos to see if there's a big rock.
You're starting to move around wherever you're at, and you're breaking up.
Oh, am I? I'm gonna try to look to see if there's a rock near me. And you know what? Now that it's gone, I'll go back with the sonar, get down in the water where the car was, where I found the car.
That's not the right
See
one.
if I can find rocks right there where the car was laying.
Yeah, because that reservoir is gonna keep going down.
Yeah.
It's going to. Yep. Anyway, I'm going to take my butt to sleep. Thanks for having me. And
well, thanks for coming up and being
you
part
get
of
a
the
minute,
panel.
yeah.
I appreciate it.
Absolutely. Look, if you get a chance later on, send me the information on the bodies of water. I'll look at it. Thanks. Everybody have a good night. Hit the thumbs up.
Tony.
Peace.
Hey, Guidance.
Hey, sorry I have to mute in and out, and I just wanted to be quick since I am working. Just wanted to touch base on where you think the party is. I think you're on point because I did a little deep diving into TikTok.
Yeah.
And if you can see in a lot of the videos, I tried to look up all of the Truckee type campground, Prosser Lake, Donner Lake videos. And it almost looks like it would be in that area, especially like EDM parties and glow stick parties. There's tons for that graduating class and a lot of them in general. But I think the factor that we could take as a group is educating and promoting, especially like MAD, Mothers Against Drunk Driving. And we could drive with that and make it into a positive educating purpose, because a lot of the younger generation is not taught this. A lot of the parents, it's all social media, and they don't necessarily have communication like we did as kids, or else you lose a classmate like this for you to learn, because they are kids, they are 16, and they always don't think, oh, they'll just find their way home. And we learn that as we go, unless we have a tragic event, in my opinion, unless it's not instilled in us or taught to us. So I think we could always use our platforms to educate, because the kids are watching this. And I totally forgot my other note on that factor.
And this is also, we also got to take into consideration that, teens are going to be teens. This is part of growing up. We experience different things. When we're kids, we experience with, outlets and hot stovetops. When we're older, we experience, with drugs and alcohol and other substances. And, you're not going to get around it, but you need to, for parents out there, they need to acknowledge it's going to happen, and they need to find a way to deal with it with their children. Make sure your children know that you can call them. I'm a person that believes in parenting, not being friends with their children. You're not a friend to your child, you're their parent. And, I hope people, start parenting instead of trying to be their children's friend. You can do both. But there's a happy balance.
I'm the same way. I'm a firm believer of, I'm your mom first, but if you're ever in trouble, I'd rather you call me. You'd be in more trouble if you lie or hide than tell me the truth.
Right.
But also, that's what I was thinking about, is I shared it in our group last night, but what caught my attention, and I don't know how much, I just wanted to pick your brain on it if you guys can look into it. I shared it on one of the guys with AWP. They called in, they found a body, and then they found another body, and the cop's like, well, I don't think I'm ready if it's a Friday. So I wanted you to take a look on that to see the response and what you thought about that, because I'm like, how many cases could be implicated if the law enforcement have the same response? Because it shows him being recorded, actually calling and answering, and their conversation back and forth with the one guy from AWP, his own criminal.
And I'll review it.
What's that?
Can you send me that stuff and I'll review it?
Yeah, it's in our summer army, but I'll send it to you personally.
Oh, okay. Well, then, yeah, just send it to me directly, because I always get lost looking for stuff.
Yeah, because we can definitely also use our platform to advocate for that group, because they hit a home run, and so thankful that she was found.
Yeah.
But anyways, I got to get back to my 9 to 5.
Thanks, Guidance.
Love you guys. Have a good day.
Fight. So, yeah, just did you have anything else to add? Did you know anything about any more information? We do know that she was positively identified, so it was definitely her.
Yeah.
You know, I found it interesting at the press conference because they reiterated again. Now remember when they said she was abducted or alleged that she could potentially be abducted, they came out very clearly, very transparent, said, "Look, guys, we just can't find her vehicle. That's the only reason why we're taking this strategy. It will open us up for more resources." And then when they're at the press conference, they reiterate that again. They basically say, "No, we've never said that this was an abduction. We said that it could be an abduction, which it could have been. We could not find her car. But we never said we thought it was an abduction. We just needed the additional resources." And then they start talking about how this is an accident and a collision investigation as opposed to a criminal investigation or a homicide investigation.
I can tell you why they have the traffic investigation, the accident investigation unit there. They've got the lasers. They've got the tools to measure and come up with, you know, as much factual evidence as they can to reconstruct what happened. That's why they're there, to reconstruct what happened. So,
and that's what people don't realize is that even whether one way or another, whether somebody did this or whether, you know, they believe she did this to herself, they still have to prove their theory.
Yeah. I mean, and that's why they're there. I mean, it's called an accident group because 90% of the calls they go on are car accidents.
Mm-hmm.
This would be considered an accident if she accidentally went in there because she is intoxicated.
Right.
But it doesn't mean that somebody hit her with another vehicle.
Right. Because there are single car accidents that happen all the time.
Yeah. I mean, you know, I'm sure she didn't intentionally mean to drive in there if she ended up in there by herself. It would be considered an accident.
Yeah.
So the accident team is just there to take measurements and reconstruct to the best of their ability what happened. And now, was there a lot of sketchy stuff that Sammy done leading up to this? Yeah.
Yeah.
Does it factually prove that Sammy put her in a car and pushed the car in the lake? No.
What it shows is she's a shitty friend. Sorry.
I mean, yeah. I mean, if anything, it just shows that. And again, who knows? I mean,
and you know what? She was. People forget Sammy was intoxicated too. She wasn't making the right decisions either. I mean, all these kids out here weren't out here to have a study group.
Yeah.
So I mean, everybody has done stupid stuff while they have been intoxicated. Very limited of us have done stupid stuff while we're intoxicated that somebody died from. You know, this is not on Sammy. Sammy didn't put her behind the wheel of the car, didn't drive her into that lake, in my opinion. I don't believe that the evidence will prove that at all. I think that's somebody's theory that happened, and they went around and they made it believable to a lot of people. I don't think it happened. But we have very creative brains, and that's not a bad thing.
And even if this was a criminal thing, I mean, you know how hard it is going to be to prove and link somebody to this?
Short of DNA, somebody coming forward, you're not. And that's why I said from the beginning that the people, even when law enforcement come out and say what happened, there are going to be a small number of people that will not believe it because there's still that possibility that somebody could have done this.
Yeah, I mean, someone could say, well, Sammy's prints and DNA was in the car. Well, yeah, she rode there with Kiely, right?
She was just in that car at 11:30 that evening, right before all this took place.
Or they were hanging. I mean, how many people was in and out of that car while she was at the party?
Yeah.
I mean, imagine all the DNA in there.
Mm-hmm.
I don't even know if you can get fingerprints with it being submerged in the water. Even if you had fingerprints.
Sometimes you can try.
I mean, even if you had fingerprints, I mean, doesn't mean they done it.
Right.
You know,
it means that they were in the car. That's all it means.
Yeah, if I come home and I found my wife murdered, and they're like, "Dude, we found your fingerprints all over the house." Well, it's my house,
Right.
you know. But
And
I
if they're
think,
like me, my car probably has fingerprints from the prior owner in it.
yeah. I mean, so we're just at a waiting game here. Now, what I do find odd about the press conference, and let me know your take on it, is that they had the family there. Okay. Do you think the family would be there if Kiely just drove in there, or do you think law enforcement would say, you know what, the way everything looks and all that, we honestly, just preliminary, them talking to the family behind the scenes, I mean, me, if I was the cops doing that press conference and I had a feeling that it was, she just drove into the lake, I would have told the family, hey, you don't have to be here. You guys need to go do your mourning, support each other. The last place you need to be is at a stupid press conference over something that I believe ain't criminal.
Right. Well, I can tell you the information I got, I'm sure you got it as well. The grandfather, the father had to go down to the sheriff's office whenever they found the car, but the grandfather refused to leave. He sat right there on the beach, the embankment, until they pulled her out of the water. And, I don't know, maybe the family felt uneasy not going to that press conference, especially with all the people that came out to support and help find their daughter. Maybe they thought it was an act of disrespect. Maybe there is more. I mean, I just.
Yeah, maybe they wanted to go to meet everybody and, hug them and thank them.
For all their hard work,
Yeah. I didn't think about that.
Yeah.
But.
Because, they had this beautiful, they had one of the most prettiest statements, I think anybody, to think of a family losing somebody so special to them and them taking out their time and not just to say thank you, but to write a beautifully written statement to all the people. I just thought was beautiful. And I think it really shows why Kiely was such a wonderful, smart, talented young lady, was from the good parents and the loving family that she had.
And there's going to be a lot of people in this with survivor's guilt.
Yeah.
Everybody from, the parents to friends. And so we need to step back for a moment before we start slinging stuff out there.
Yeah.
And understand that, that there's that element to it too. And we don't need to amplify that.
Yeah, no, it's time now on this particular case to take a few steps back. Everybody needs to take a breath. They need to just get their thoughts together. This is not something that we should be arguing about, and at least everybody's entitled to their own opinions.
Right. Yeah.
But let's leave it in these chat rooms. When we go outside of these chat rooms and start attacking, 16 and 17-year-old kids, we need to start looking at ourselves first.
Yeah.
Even if you thought that they were, you had not a stitch of evidence or factual information to even, you want to, there's people in here that's, still believes that, this is the perfect place the perfect outlet for those speculative statements. Going to a person that's suffering for missing their friend and attacking that person personally, people need to start just stop. That's
yeah.
What's going to end up happening is that the audience and some creators are going to be attacking people so much. This is going to be the last place people come for help.
Yeah.
And, we have such great skills. I mean, these Adventures with Purpose are YouTubers. I read their entire bio. They consider themselves YouTuber. Do they have experience? Yes, they have experiences. You have experiences in something. I have experiences in something. I'm an expert in something. You're an expert in something. They're an expert in something. We're still all YouTubers. And they are YouTubers. And YouTube has helped solve cases, folks. YouTube has helped cases. So to take this very resourceful tool and muddy it all up and just put it through a blender and chop it all up, we're gonna be where people don't want to come. If you have a problem, you don't go to YouTube. That's going to be the name on the streets. We don't want that. That's not what YouTube is about. We're here to advocate for these victims. We're here to expose all these people, the exposure of these victims, so they get out far and wide so people can see them. And this is where we argue when we go on pages, and your channel, my channel, other channels, conspiracy theory channels. Keep it in the chat. If you're angry, keep it in the chat. Don't go out and start directing your anger toward other people until more facts come in. It's just a suggestion.
Yeah, because I mean, it'd be easy to go with somebody like say, because everybody. Let's just take Sammy for instance. I mean, everybody's going at her. I mean, it would be easy for me to go at her real hard if I knew that she has a history of being a bully to Sam, or being a bully to Kiely, abusive to Kiely, manipulating. I mean, it would be a little bit more easy for me to go at her knowing that stuff. But I don't have nothing. I mean,
there was nothing like that ever alleged. We didn't find any posts from anybody. There was no, out of all the people I spoke to, out of all the different people that other YouTube creators spoke with, there was not one time was it ever alleged that there was a beef between, ever a beef between Sammy and Kiely. There was no evidence of anything. I mean, you have to have a motive to do anything.
Yeah.
You get up to clean your kitchen. What's the motivation behind it? Because you like to have a clean kitchen. There's a motive behind everything. Why do you wash your clothes? Because you want your clothes to smell good. Why do you wash yourself? So you don't stink. There's motives behind everything. So I could never link the motive. And when people were speculating that there was a love triangle, when they were speculating this, I'd look into it and I could not find it. No matter how hard I tried, I could not find these allegations. And the more I heard them, the more it actually started tipping me. There was a time when I was doubting myself and I'm like, well, maybe this could have happened. Yeah. But I just kept coming back to, there's still that possibility, but this is what I really think happened.
Yeah. And even me, I mean, I was, because, I just assumed that once they found her, because I knew the FBI was involved because she was a missing person. Mm-hmm. But I just assumed that once they found her, the FBI would step back and be like, okay, you guys got this. Because it's the FBI. Their plate is like, they've got a lot on their plate. Mm-hmm. So, I mean, if they feel like, the local and state agencies could handle it, I figured the FBI would be like, hey, we found her. You guys got this. If you need our resources, you know how to get a hold of us. I didn't know the car was going to go be handed off to the FBI.
Yeah. The FBI, for those that are just watching, that is, Don is absolutely correct. They took that vehicle straight down for the FBI to process that vehicle.
Yeah, but there again, they may not have what we have, like the TBI. They may not have that state agency to pull that data.
Not only that, though, the FBI has some of the top equipment. I mean, you want to talk about the top-notch resources that you can have. The FBI would have it. And this is exactly, for all the people out there, this is where they want it to be because, the FBI is going to be looking at this as both angles. They're not going to have their blinders on. They're going to be looking at this as if it's a possibility of a homicide as well as a possibility of an accident.
Yeah.
They're going to resolve. I believe when they come out with the statement, whatever they come out with, I'm going to take as fact and as true.
Yeah. I mean, if the computer shows that there was nobody sitting in the front seats when it entered the water, that's going to have to be explained. Now, does that mean something criminal happened? Yes. Does it mean something criminal happened? No. I mean, they just have to figure that out. Because like in my CRV, I've got sensors under both seats in the front.
Yeah.
And they're constantly sending data to the computer. And, if it comes back and she was sitting in the driver's side seat all the way to the water, then, they'll have to figure that out, how she ended up in the back, maybe. Because I've been watching videos of people trying to escape from cars that go in the water ever since this happened. And that's the first thing they do is they climb in the back, some of them, if they can't get out before the water fills up.
Right.
I mean, you're supposed to get out before the water fills up, but I mean, when you're, 3 sheets to the wind.
Yeah. And not only that, but she might have went in there. She may have passed out behind the wheel and just.
Yeah.
I mean, at the end of the day, we don't know what happened. Somebody could have jumped in there and, maybe try to drive her home and ended up getting in there, and they were able to escape, but she wasn't.
Yeah.
I mean, I have no earthly idea, but I hope we find out soon. It's going to be at least at the maximum of six or so weeks.
Yeah, I think the car data will come back a lot faster than the toxicology.
Yeah.
I mean, they'll probably have that the black box data. They probably already got it, analyzing it on the computers.
Yeah.
But there again, we have to wait because a lot of people don't understand. It's you have to take the data with the car, the data with the toxicology, the data with the accident reconstruction team, the California Highway Patrol. You have to put all that together along with any witness statements that you have. And yeah, I can see why this would take 3 or 4 months to complete.
Yeah, it's gonna be a long road, and it's sad because I know there's going to be a lot of speculation over the next several weeks to the next several months related to this case. I just at this point we don't need to speculate, in my opinion. We just need to be patient.
Right. Yeah, and it was dark out there too.
Very dark.
I mean, where she went in, I don't think there was any street lights.
There are no lights out there, so that's why I use that camera guy as an example, because he had the big bright camera lights up, and you could see the halo around him, but outside of that halo, it was black nothing. Yeah,
and if you've got 100 kids out there partying, I don't even know if you would hear the car. I mean, maybe if someone did faintly hear it or whatever. And
they might have heard something like a splash. They could have thought it was a turtle or a fish jumping out of the water.
People skinny dipping.
Right.
I mean, it's a campground.
Right.
They weren't the only people out there.
No, they weren't.
So.
And thank goodness for that, because we were able to get some information that we didn't know, because we haven't heard any outside of those 2 campers letting us know what time they came in and what time that they left. Yeah.
And I think that's the reason why they didn't have the party actually over on the other side where the physical campground party is because, they probably got kicked out because, that's actually for people camping and not partying. So I think that's why they used the other side to throw the party.
I wonder, what's your thought on this? You watch a lot of true crime stuff. You talk about a lot of true crime stuff, and do you think that the Placer County Sheriff's Department will be held financially liable because they chose not to, they didn't do any kind of drive arounds to check on everybody, knowing that parties go on here every year around this time for the seniors? I just feel like they knew it was going on, but they didn't want to, they know the kids are just having fun and didn't want to intrude, but they also didn't do any just policing, just driving around and making sure everybody was okay.
If anybody would be legally liable, it would be like up here. Let's say if that happened at Warriors Path State Park, where Summer went swimming, that would fall back on the park ranger. It wouldn't fall back on Sullivan County. It wouldn't fall back on Kingsport. Because and then again, like if there was a big party at Douglas, not Douglas Dam, that's where I used to live. Fort Patrick Henry Dam, the dam that backed up that made the lake for Warriors Path.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I used to go make out there. And it wasn't Kingsport, Sullivan County that pulled up and busted you. It was TVA police.
Ah,
Federal police.
We're hearing some of his skeletons. Listen to this,
Yeah,
guys.
yeah. So when you look up and you're like, we're busted,
Yeah,
it's a federal police officer
gotcha.
because that is a federal dam and federal lands.
Gotcha.
It wouldn't be your local police department that patrols that. And I also found out, because my friend is a TVA police, my friend's dad is a TVA police officer. They're so thin that, I mean, you may not have backup. Like there may be, now his dad may be at a dam and get into a situation where he needs backup, but the other TVA police officer, because TVA's got a lot of dams in 3-4 states, the other police officer may be 100 miles away at another dam.
All right.
So, but if need be, the local resources would come in and help them out.
Yeah.
You know,
I was just kind of surprised that they knew that this party was going out. And, you know, I mean, I get they don't want to, you know, mess with the young kids. You know, this is something that occurs. This is kind of like a regular, you know, thing that happens out there this time every year for the kids. And but still, you know, just you don't have to get out of your patrol car, but you can drive around and make sure nobody's robbing the people, that nobody's assaulting the people. You know, you can just do a little drive-by.
See, now I do know that the campground's going to probably come under.
Yeah, unfortunately, that's what.
I don't know if they've got a park ranger.
Yeah, and I'm also, you know, questioning it with this being a private. It almost looks like it's a private campground.
Yeah. You know, like Warriors Path, where Summer went swimming.
Yeah.
That's a state park. They've actually got a ranger that lives on the park grounds right there by the pool.
Right.
He's got it's a residence. Like when you get your job there, you live there.
Yeah.
And that's their job. They patrol. So we used to go up there and cruise on Sundays, and the park ranger would sit there and talk to us and stuff like that. But did they have a park ranger?
Good question. I'd like to know that. Maybe it's time to do some record requests in the area just to see what's what.
You know, and if they did have a park ranger, where was he at?
Yeah.
You know, I mean, if I was
I'm telling you, if you got people coming from Nevada, people knew this party was going on.
Yeah. I mean, if you know, I'm sure if Warriors Path had 300 people partying somewhere on the park grounds, that ranger would have been like, "Hey, guys, we can't do this."
Yeah.
I mean, look what they done when people went out there to do the thing for summer.
Yeah.
Look how much slack the Rangers gave them on that.
Yeah.
So no, they wouldn't let 300 people go out there and just party.
Yeah, it's odd, and I keep wondering, you know, is this a place that they had to rent that spot out, and if so, who rented it?
And then again, you know, like, was that a national park where Gabby Petito was found?
Yes, and actually, where she was found was like right on the border of federal land versus the state land.
Okay. So, I mean, if there was a huge 500 person party out there,
they wouldn't know where she was found. If they had that kind of party out there, they would have never even known it.
There you go.
Yeah, they would have never known it unless it was being broadcasted somewhere, because you have to go down this long road to even get back there. You wouldn't have seen. I mean, you wouldn't have heard it. There's nothing around there.
Yeah, and looking at the satellite images of the Prosser, or I don't know how is it Prosser?
It's Prosser.
Prosser.
Yeah, Prosser, and then the sheriff is Placer.
Yeah, the Prosser. It's a pretty good drive off the main road too.
Yeah.
Yeah. I didn't. I mean, I can take a look at it, but I don't think there's any park rangers or anything out there.
Yeah, I have a funny feeling there's probably not. But, again, that's where if the sheriff knew that there was going to be a whole bunch of children underage kids, you don't want to screw up their end of summer party, but you could still just kind of drive around, let them know that you're there, kind of tamper down any of the other, because it's like the camera out at that one park. They use it for a deterrent more so than for video.
Yeah.
No.
But there again, I mean, would you rather have an officer out there babysitting teenagers at a party?
No, I don't want an officer out there babysitting, but I just thought maybe just a little ride on through.
Yeah.
Wouldn't hurt.
I mean, yeah, it wouldn't hurt. I mean, obviously, but then again, we have to. We. Do you think? Well, what jurisdiction would that be in?
Well, it's kind of hard because I think that it is in Placer, so I think Placer County would still be responsible. I think that's why they took the lead in this.
Yeah, I mean,
and that was the last place they saw her.
I
never realized what they were getting at when this case first came on about how they were hinging on the fact that they never saw her leave the park, and they never saw her leave. I keep going back to those original stuff where they were trying to find anybody that saw her leave. Yeah. And it was like, we kept hearing, the her not leaving, and it should have almost been like they had to have known she was around there somewhere. They just couldn't find her.
Yeah, I do think now that campground will probably maybe end up having a check-in office.
Yeah.
And maybe people riding around in golf carts.
This is definitely going to cause changes. What has been done. I can tell you that because it always takes this. Everything's good and gravy until something happens. And then once something happens, then the rules come in play. Yeah,
they're going to have to find somewhere else to party now.
Yeah.
So, but it's just at this point, it's just a waiting game. And, I mean, I can see if this does end up being a criminal investigation, I can see them coming out pretty soon if it's that obvious, saying, we want to give an update. And at this time, it does look like this will end up being a criminal investigation, where we're not going to take any questions at this time because of that fact. But we just wanted to give everybody an update that, this has turned into a criminal investigation, and we'll give updates when we can. But at the moment, that's all we've got for you. If it'll either go that way or it'll just end up being, a tragic accident.
Yeah.
So we're just waiting. I'm going to try to cover other cases while we wait because I just don't, I already can see the levels rising on this, and I just don't want to have it. We're so close to knowing what really happened. There's no point in trying to theorize or speculate with this case.
Yeah.
I think we should be supporting other missing persons and, be advocating for them because we're going to know something soon enough. We just need to be patient.
Yeah. And I mean, heck, we can still support the family, the friends, the community, law enforcement. I think if anything, maybe we should get with law enforcement as a YouTube community and help those guys.
What I think would really, really be nice? I think maybe supporting a digital thank you card or something to Adventures with Purpose, where we can digitally apply our signatures and send it off to them.
Yeah.
Something. I don't know how to do it, but it sounds like even a sympathy card to the family, something that.
I mean, if you're watching this right now and you're a YouTuber and you feel like you could give some input and some training to the sheriff's department to where they could have found that car, go out there and because we don't, I mean, I know that AWP said they're going to share their skill set, some of the stuff they done with them, but it's my understanding that AWP is also under a strict, I mean, they're going straight to another case. So when are they going to be able to share that information with them?
Yeah.
Whereas
they'll probably be able to give them a report on what they use. But
yeah. So if anybody's out there watching this right now and you live in that area and you've got the know-how, the skill set to possibly, help the sheriff's department train those guys, go out there and step up and say, hey, I'll be more than happy to help get your guys trained. I mean, it doesn't have to be AWP that does it. I mean, it could be, it could be a professional bass fisherman.
Yeah.
It could be a couple of them.
Yeah, and I would like, they are very advanced in what they do, and I would like to start seeing some law enforcement, pay them. I hope they have a nonprofit organization. If they don't, they should.
Yeah, I follow a guy on YouTube
paying them for training to come into their, for a weekend training with some of their people or something like that.
Yeah, I follow a guy on YouTube. His name is Scott Martin, and he's got a TV show, I think maybe on Discovery and some stuff like that. And he's a professional bass fisherman. Fishes in he's been doing it. His whole family is known throughout the world. And the equipment that guy has on his bass boat is worth more than a Tesla. Yeah. It's someone like that could go out there and maybe spend a couple weekends with them or just some time with them and show those guys, hey, did you know you could do this with this? Did you know you could do that and get a better image? I think that would help too. We got to help each other.
Yeah.
Instead of criticizing each other.
Right. And that's one of the reasons why I love collabing with, and I talk to my audience about this all the time. I could go out to these things and search by myself, but the bottom line is I have my own strengths and weaknesses. And the great thing about collabing with other people is you can get their strengths and weaknesses as well. And sometimes those, when you get a match, you get everybody's working on all cylinders, and yeah, I'm not the smartest person in the world. I know that.
Yeah.
So I like having people with me when I go out here because we can all utilize each other to get the job done.
Yeah. Like the guys, if they were out there scanning and if they did see something in there and it's like, I don't know what that is. And a professional bass fisherman could say, hey, push this button right here. And you push that button and go, oh my God, that's like night and day, dude. That's a car.
Yeah. Maybe
they didn't know how to push that. They didn't know what button to push.
Yeah, it very well could be. I think that they acknowledged that I think the law enforcement was a little disappointed because they thought they did a thorough job. And then they had this company, this organization come in and find it within 30 minutes. And they're probably all scratching their heads saying, we thought we did everything right.
Yeah.
And these are, this happens because people are just constantly move, they just need to keep going. And, things are moving so fast. I mean, you got to think law enforcement is their backs are against the wall. Their time is not their friend.
Yeah.
And everything that they're doing is failing. I can't imagine how desperate that these law enforcement agents felt.
Yeah. When that officer said they had side scan sonar, I'm like, that's what gives you that 3D image. So what happened?
They probably didn't have it on the right imaging setting.
Yeah, I mean, you do have different settings, So, like I said, it could have been just no one pressed the right button. And if you had, it'd have been like night and day, the detail, So, but we have to support each other. I mean, like I tell my kids, I've got 40 years of making mistakes under my belt, and that's how come I'm so smart.
You ain't lying. I know. If we were wise,
yeah,
we'd be so smart.
Yeah, and unfortunately, some of those mistakes almost costed me my life.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's just part of. I mean, I used to go caving and up in Hawkins County and go in them caves and stuff, and almost got killed in one.
Yeah.
But, I was, 17 at the time and just thought I was Superman.
Yeah. And that's what I remember. That that is the era of the when you think you're 10 foot tall and bulletproof.
Mm-hmm.
It's from that like 16-year-old to about 22, 23-ish. By 25, you're crying with a bottle of booze in your living room because you realize you're an adult.
Yeah.
You're on your own.
Yeah.
On your sorrows. But that 16 to about 22, 23, you just feel invincible and you don't think of consequences. And,
Yeah.
it's just
And
sad.
I stop and think, because I still remember adults giving me advice back then. And it went in one ear and out the other.
Absolutely.
And it happens today too, I'm sure.
Absolutely. But what's funny is that those were little seeds that were planted. So
Yeah.
even though you didn't get that right away, later in life, you're like, I remember that.
Yeah.
BHB, can you ask Don if he's familiar with Paola's case? And if so, what he thinks? Would you like to know his opinion? Would like to know his opinion. Have you followed Paola Miranda's case?
No.
Okay. So that answers your question.
I can look into it though.
Yeah. Oh, she's the girl that we've been out there. It's just crazy because there's no evidence of a gator attack. And it has all the appearances that she made it back to her car because we have sandy sandals in the car. We've got a towel in the car, her keys, her wallet, cash. I mean, cell phone, everything was in an unlocked car. And then she's nowhere to be found. They even tested the water for DNA, nothing. Like, it's definitely an interesting case. It's the one I've been running that's Lost in the Swamp. And she's we just don't believe a gator attacked her.
There'd be something there, I would think.
Ripped clothing, something.
Yeah, because a gator is not, like a gator would not be eating like Michael Jordan would be eating. He wouldn't, he wouldn't be sitting there with a $70,000 fork and spoon.
Right. And they don't eat you in one sitting either. So
no, they sling you. Yeah, you're gonna have body parts everywhere.
Else just getting on.
Maybe. And then you got, what if that person just wanted to disappear?
Yeah.
People have debts. People have,
Yeah, so she had a packed lunch in there, and she was going to her sister's after she left the park because they had the electronic vacuum in the car. So
yeah,
it didn't sound like something where she was wanting to disappear. When we first got out there, we kind of thought she may have gotten lost out there, but we eliminated that once we spoke to the family and realized she's been out there before, and two, she goes to these types of parks all over.
Oh, because there's no dementia or anything like that going on with it.
No.
Oh, okay.
But she was on medication, so after a certain point, her not having the medication, it may have done something to her. You know how when you cold turkey medication, it can do a number on you.
Yeah.
But I think something may have happened to her, but I don't know what.
Yeah, but I mean, I'm gonna go ahead and jump off here. But like I said, if there's anybody out there, I mean, I'm gonna reach out to a couple professional fishing organizations.
Yeah.
And see if they can't hit up the sheriff's department. And because, I mean, if some people are willing to step up, they can give them this training for free.
Yeah.
If it's a budget issue, maybe we can get this done for free.
Yeah. There's definitely organizations out there just getting the right key players with the right key players.
Yeah. So I'm going to talk to FLW and maybe some other, a Bassmaster. Because I know some fishing people on YouTube, and I think off season they'd be more than willing to step up and go out there and help, show the sheriff's department some tips and tricks on these imaging systems.
Yeah, sounds like a winner. I mean, I'd like to know what transpired there and why they weren't able to find Kiely. It's devastating. I mean, I'm sure it's a public blow to the law enforcement agencies, but it was also a blow to the public as well, and we just need to find out what they're doing wrong, because if they're doing it wrong there's other agencies that are doing it wrong in other parts of this country.
Yeah, yeah. And it's not like they didn't go out there and look for her.
Right.
So.
But I'm thankful that this department was not cocky. They said, hey, we need help. Who can help us?
Yeah.
So. All right, Don. Well, you take care. Answer that phone, and we'll chat with you later. Thanks so much for stopping by.
All right. It's good hanging out with you. Adios.
Absolutely. Thank you. Bye-bye. So there we had it, folks. You know, we went over a lot of information. For those that are just coming in, I'm going to briefly go over some information with you, and then we're going to probably call it a day. I'm tired. This is a lot of information, and for those that know, I have literally been up since 3 a.m. getting all this stuff together for this segment. So let me get these popped up. Okay, put this down. So for those that are just tuning in, just wants straight factual information about the case of Jolissa Fuentes. She's 22 years old, brown hair, brown eyes, went missing the early morning hours of August 7th, 2022. She was in a gray or silver 2011 Hyundai Accent with a California license plate number of 8MPU 766. The reward that was $5,000 is now increased to $10,000. August 6th from 8 to 3 a.m. She attended a family gathering. There was a disagreement at that family gathering because she was not ready to go to sleep. She wanted everybody to continue. People were tired. She went home to grab some belongings at 3 a.m. It is my belief she actually went home to stay home and was bored, got up and decided to go get a cigar so she could smoke. Marijuana, of course, for those that don't know what a cigar for that is. So at 4:06, it was captured. She was captured on CCTV footage at the AMPM gas station at 4:25 at 5:24 and 5:25. She did try to FaceTime her sister. Her sister did not receive that. She was sleeping and missed that call. On the 7th at 7 p.m., she was officially reported as missing. It was confirmed that was the last day her phone pinged. On August 8th, emergency ping initiated. On August 9th, drones and helicopters were deployed. Also on August 9th, several search warrants were issued for cell phone records, social media, banking information, and transaction information, or banking transaction information, and any other digital media. Since August 7th, there has been no activity on any cell phone, social media, or banks. Selma police started releasing information about her disappearance on their social media platform, which they got some leads, but nothing that led to her whereabouts. On the 11th, the last phone pinged at Avocado Lake area. Law enforcement does not believe that there's foul means involved. However, this is a criminal investigation. And again, there is her missing persons flyer and the car. So that's really it for just the updated information for everybody to have the factual information that they need related to this case. To me, it appears, because we have some additional comments from friends and family, that she actually went to this area with a few friends a few times for smoke, to smoke with them. They would drive there and back. They would never really stop or get out of the vehicle. It was just something to consume time. We know that she stopped by that gas station. We know she got a cigar. We know she was about to start smoking. So I'm wondering if she was just not ready to go to bed. Nobody was hanging out with her, and she just decided to say, hey, I want to go and smoke while I go to this place, because maybe she was missing her friends that she always goes there. I don't know. But they do believe that it's possible that she's in a lake there, because around this gas station all the way to the interstate is flat-lying areas. There is no water anywhere in and around that area. But her last ping shows her over in that area, which has a lot of bodies of water, rather. So we're going to be following this case. I've got some thumbnails that have been created by our team, and I'm working. I haven't asked this person if I'm allowed to give them credit or not for this, but once I get that information, so you guys might be seeing some new creative thumbnails coming out on the Bullhorn Betty channel. So I have 2 people that have offered to help with the thumbnails, and one of them has already been sending thumbnails in. So it's really cool. It's really cool. You guys don't realize that just doing stuff like that, those thumbnails, they take me time. It takes time out of my day to make them. If I can have somebody that saves me almost, anywhere between a half an hour to an hour, sometimes more, sometimes less. So it's definitely a nice thing. And then I also had another one of our members in here that offered to help do research. So I'm really excited that we are starting to build these, teams, these Bullhorn Betty teams. So it's really nice. Things are starting to roll out nicely, and we're going to start being a little more creative. So I hope you guys stay tuned. If you thought this video was beneficial to you, please don't forget to share it on your social media platforms. Let your friends and family know that to sign up and subscribe to the Bullhorn Betty channel. So we are working on a trip to Idaho. I'm leaving soon, and we are still a little short on our funds. We need a total of $1,200. We need about $500 more to fully fund this trip. $500 more. We have like 270 people in this chat. If everybody in this chat could donate $2 to $5, we would have our budget literally right now met. So that's the best part about crowdfunding. It doesn't cost everybody a drop in the bucket just to, help fund these trips and get some new information. But we are going out there. So if you would like to sponsor or help sponsor, a lot of our donations have been $25 or less. There's the information right below me on that rolling screen. There's Venmo, Cash App, and PayPal. So if you'd like to help sponsor this trip, please don't forget to provide those funds through either Venmo, Cash App, or PayPal. Thank you again, guys. I love you. God bless. And believe me, I'm working very hard to get you guys as much information as possible. I'm sorry I wasn't here yesterday, but as you saw, the amount of work that went into this, getting the maps up, getting the cards up, that all took time. So I really hope that you guys did find some benefit in this style of the channel. So, but anyways, I'll talk to you guys later. Again, God bless. Go make it a great day. You guys rock. And don't forget to be fearless, folks.
As you wake up in the morning, you want to find the latest, greatest information about criminal cases and have an intuitive conversation about the suspects associated with these cases. Head over to the Bullhorn Betty channel on YouTube. Get breaking news right here on the Bullhorn Betty channel. Welcome to the Bullhorn Betty Coffee Club. Enjoy your stay and enjoy your day.